That started. Good. I'm probably not going to wait for the whole 5 minutes. I'm just going to quickly grab my drink and then we are good to start. And as I said, I am not late!
I mean, you're a little bit.
I'm not, trust me. I'm working on an Irish clock here.
Hey chat, how's everyone doing?
We like Irish clocks.
Hey Devin, hey Gaming, hey Brandon, hey PS5 Blows, hey Steve, hey Bullets Kill. How's everyone doing today? If you can even hear me.
They should be hearing you.
Hey, okay.
If they're not, they're doing it on purpose. These lot are like that.
Okay.
They will try to deceive you.
Look, you never know with OBS, okay?
That is true.
There's you're one update away from it resetting all of your settings.
It does to me every
So.
time I shut down.
Good to hear, PS5 Blows. Good to hear you're doing okay. Hey Archangel Nexus. Everyone keeps asking for Pirate. Do you owe them Pirate? Why not? Streamlabs uses a lot more resources, Bullets. I use Streamlabs myself, but no. That's why people prefer OBS, because it uses slightly less resources. But I use Streamlabs myself. Well, I record with... It's weird. I record with Studio OBS. I audio record with OBS. And I stream with Streamlabs. I have all of them.
I used to use Streamlabs. But when you stream with Streamlabs, every so often, it doesn't have audio.
I mean, that's every...
Never had that.
less resources, man as a 3090. I mean, it's still less resources that you can use on the game, though, Bag. Like...
Let's make a start.
By the way, what's all this pirate talk?
Oh, they want me to dress up like a pirate and not like a dodo again.
Don't worry, I'll keep bugging him. I've got your back, chat. You may...
Alright, I think we're pretty much ready.
Let's go find the One Piece.
The chat wanted, right? The chat shall get.
Yeah. I watched the Mario Kart World Direct Bullets Kill. I don't remember what happened in it really, but I watched it. I was watching a streamer react to it. So.
How goes it? So, it's been an interesting week. Chille, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? And what Dragon Ball shenanigans have you been transpiring?
Well, I've been streaming like Final Fantasy 14 because the patch. We've got the new Cosmic Exploration patch next week,
Oh, cool.
I've been playing Marvel Rivals. I've been playing through Bleach on the YouTube channel, and I recently just covered the new Dragon Ball leak that happened today with the DLC. Yeah, which, by the way, I fixed the thumbnail a little bit. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. There was a little bit of an issue with it, but yeah, no, I thank you for the comment, by the way. Thank you for the support on the video. So
no worries, anytime, buddy. Because that's what we pirates do. We sail the high seas and plunder what we can.
how about you? What have you been up to?
Me? Well, yesterday was, as I was saying earlier, an interesting day because finished work, was getting ready for Twitch streaming, and then I put my head down on the sofa and I woke up at 5 a.m. the next morning. I don't remember anything in between. It was a really nice blur all the way through. But yeah, other than that, I've been just working, content creating, playing bits of games here and there, looking at stuff to get for my for streams and stuff. But yes, it's been a very busy week, and obviously there's been quite a bit of news going around lately, and that's been awesome. But yes, I've been playing South of Midnight on stream, and off stream I've been playing Assassin's Creed, which I'm really enjoying. You know, the true Assassin's game. There's a number of other games coming, lots of updates coming. 23rd seems to be a really big day, so I'm kind of, it's almost like the super come together day, where every developer out there is releasing something on the 23rd. It's crazy.
Yeah, the 2013 is pretty cool. Yeah,
there's a reason for that, Steve. There's a reason.
I'm excited for that.
What?
I'm excited for why you talk about Division. Like,
yes.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I said, like, I haven't really paid much attention to much gaming news this week. Like, I watched the Mario Kart stuff earlier with, I watched the stream the Direct. Apart from that, I haven't really been keeping up that much. I know there's a lot of controversy over Indiana Jones on PlayStation. I did laugh at that in my work Discord. Someone linked, I don't know if you've seen it, but someone announced a new snooker game for PS5, Xbox, and PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the taglines is "True 8K." So I don't know. I found that funny. The fact that they put that as one of their main features. The fact this table pool game is running at 8K, 60 FPS.
I mean, I'm gonna guess it can probably do it because there's nothing else going on screen, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just like, they knew that's why they could say that, and I find that funny.
Absolutely.
That made me giggle a little bit.
So, you know about Oblivion? It might be coming back, right?
Yes, sooner rather than later.
But there's been very little talk about Fallout 3. And apparently that's still coming. Believe it or not.
Okay.
So according to notorious leaker Nate, the hate, whether he's truthful or not, I've actually been told by people that I personally trust that he's generally not far off, and if he's wrong, it's generally because companies change what they're doing on the last minute, and he gets screwed over with his predictions.
Well, it's not just that, but like, it doesn't even have to be last minute. Like, if he got his information from someone 2 months ago, and there's a delay anywhere in the pipeline, like, I see. That's why I can't get too mad about leakers getting stuff slightly wrong, because sometimes it's just there's business. There's multiple different people working on a project. Something can happen between the time you get the information and the time that the game comes out. There's multiple different factors involved. Like, sometimes you can understand it's stupid, but yeah. But a lot of the times, if they're only slightly wrong, I don't have any issues with it. So.
But yeah.
By the way, I turned my mic up a little bit, so hopefully that's better.
You're good. No. And let me just check your voice levels. Where is it?
I mean, I did it before we started, but
I mean, you're at max anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, like you're on the max setting for audio. So if he's too loud,
Nice.
chat, let me know. But yeah, no. Fallout 3 apparently is a little ways away. They're still working on it slowly in the background.
Yeah.
But you know, if you really want a remastered Fallout 3 right now, all you really need to do is go to Nexus Mods and just download the mods and install it. Obviously, this means it's only for PC, but if you have a PC capable, then you can remaster it yourself right now through the power of mods. Because that's how we work, right? That's how we do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because they've got the Sky Oblivion mod, right, on the way, which a lot of people think looks better than the Oblivion remaster.
Voice level needs decreasing about 100%. Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
But what I find interesting, I don't know if you know about this. I don't know until we actually see it in person. I can't clarify this is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly, it's you know how Ninja Gaiden has the original game running under the hood for Unreal? So it has the original engine running in Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly, with the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, they ported the Game Bro engine underneath the Unreal Engine. So it's still technically running the original game, but in an Unreal wrapper.
I see. That's actually quite interesting.
I can't until the game comes out. I don't want to confirm that, but I've been hearing that. So, which means it'll still have all the bugs and issues that the original game had.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're changing much of the original code.
No.
So I think that's pretty much going to stay the same. Yeah, so I don't think that's really going to change. You know what? It would help if the chat could see what we're actually talking about. Right, chat?
Also, as Woodpit pointed out in chat, like some of the screenshots look really bad, but a lot of it I think is mainly due to the time of day. Like the time of day really affects the lighting of the game. And a lot of it, I think, was done at dusk versus people that have taken pictures like at just a bright summer, no cloud.
It's just a remaster. It's not a remake. They're not going back and updating the assets or anything. They've just remastered it. They're not, and it's Fallout 3 is the same. I mean, they're not going back and completely redoing it, and they've given it to a studio. Oh, thanks. You're on camera. What are you laughing at?
I still remember one point. I remember how old I was when Fallout 3 came out.
Hey, Robbie, how's it going? You can see a lot more remasters. Well, they're just cheap money, but look, how old is Fallout? Does anyone know actually how old Fallout 3 is?
It came out in 2008, so that's what, 17 years?
Right, so I think that's okay for a remaster or a remake. To be fair.
I was 21 when it came out, so
Skyrim.
Which, by the way,
no,
is one of the few games where I've not. I don't know, Skyrim.
No, they re-released Skyrim more times than The Last of Us could do in their lifetime. let's be hindsight. As long as people are paying for it, we're going to keep releasing it. It's a bit much.
I mean, it's been a while since it's been re-released, right? Skyrim. 2021. It's been 4 years.
Yeah, not long enough. Then last time they added fishing, and then they
It's gonna be next year, right?
It's probably gonna be next year, yeah.
Because next year will be the 15th anniversary.
Yeah, they're gonna do the 15th anniversary edition. Everything's been upscaled to 4K. Let's go.
4K 24 FPS for that cinematic feel. It'll be the cinematic Skyrim edition. So, yeah, there was an anniversary edition in 2021. So, yeah, there'll be another one in 2026. The anniversary edition 2. Or the anniversary edition remastered.
Rabbit, that starts at 10 o'clock. Do you know anything about this Galaxy's showcase? I'm pretty sure it's not Mario Galaxy.
No.
I don't know. Let's ask Grok. How many times has Skyrim been released?
From what I can tell, it's been 5 times.
Have you asked him?
One, two.
Original
three,
release
4
was
times,
2011. Legendary Edition was 2013. Special Edition was 2016. Nintendo Switch release was 2017. VR Edition was 2017. Anniversary Edition was 2021. And then there's miscellaneous ports on various platforms like Amazon Luna. And included in Game Pass and yada yada yada. Re-releasing on those versions. In total, Skyrim has had at least 7 distinct releases. It's getting there.
Oh my! I'm looking at Wiki, right? There's original release, Legendary Edition release, the Special Edition release, the VR version, the Switch, and then 2018, the Very Special Edition. It's the Very Special Edition.
I guess we could check out the Galaxy's gaming showcase at 10 o'clock, since it's coming on.
Well, I might have to bounce, but yeah.
You'll dip before then. Well, just after.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how the day goes.
Yeah.
So Indiana Jones has been doing a lot of thing, but what's the difference between those 3 pictures outside of the resolution?
And the lines. The lines! The PS5 Pro clearly has more lines. I'm not talking about the image, I just mean like on the graph they've added more lines.
That means it's more unstable.
Okay.
A flat line is good. Lines going everywhere, not so good.
I mean that's not really normal, but yeah, sure, I'll agree with that.
It is, because it's
I think it looks more blurry.
Which one?
The PS5 Pro. Like, if you look underneath the left eye, that looks more like a graphical artifact than the Xbox or even the base PS5.
That's probably the PSSR, right?
Yeah.
Because
but
generally the game
runs
at 4K,
right?
and it's having to drop over here to 35.
Yeah.
It's so subtle, considering how the advertising for this game has been so crazy. Oh, it's going to have this, and it's going to do that, and it's going to have this K resolution, and all this and all that. I was expecting a much bigger difference, and if I paid $800 for a PS5 Pro at the moment, I'd still feel scammed. That is not an $800.
No, but I think I can see quite a few. Just looking at I'm looking on your YouTube, of course, which probably adds some of the effect. But like, let's switch this over, I guess, so I can look at the bigger picture on the actual. But like, from me, I can see under the left eye, there's a lot of it's a lot more pixelated. Not pixelated, but it's a lot more blur. You can see more graphical problems with that.
The blur here, right? You're talking about that on there.
Yeah, underneath. Just no, a little bit further.
Here?
Like the top of the cheekbone, sort of thing. Sort of like around there.
Around here.
Yeah, if you can see what I mean.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the PS5 Pro.
I'm just saying the Xbox version is much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The PS5
Yeah.
Pro version. I was considering the marketing that's gone into this from Microsoft, trying to promote the PS5 version, and Bethesda's been tooting the PS5 Pro version like, it's the optimal.
And if you look at the I want to call it beard, but it's not really a beard. His 5 o'clock shadow. If you look at the bottom right of his lip, sort of that area, near where the color bar is. Mm-hmm. That also, in my opinion, looks way less detailed than either the Xbox or PlayStation version.
That's the PSSR. That's the pisser in action, basically.
Yeah.
At the which is weird because piss is supposed to be really good at a certain resolution, but it does.
I guess they just don't do that resolution.
No, but anything above 1080p is supposed to handle well. Anything below 1080p, it's not. But you can see that it's not handling it.
Yeah, this is not 1080. This is probably not 1080p.
It's higher. The lowest it drops to is 1631.
Huh?
So, piss is really not doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah. I don't think Pisser will be drop tarnished. I think Sony will still use Pisser in the PS6.
Or a modified FSR
You got to remember,
version.
That's the thing is that Pisser is just a modified, worse version of SSR. That's all it is. And they will continue to use Pisser, and it'll just use a slightly more modified and newer version of.
I think they're gonna
probably FSR 4.5.
I think they're gonna abandon it.
I don't think they will, because they will want to use it as branding, as a way to make their console sound different.
I think they're gonna merge it. They're gonna build it towards the FSR 4 standard, so we can accept all the protocols from there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're gonna.
I think it's mostly fair, but we'll see.
But look at the wattage difference. That's crazy. The Pro is using 242.9 watts, whereas the Xbox is using 190. So
it's only a little bit more than PS4.
It's crazy. And as for the Galaxy Showcase, if we have time today, by the end of the stream, we'll check it out a little bit. See what it is. But a lot of time till then. But yeah, it's crazy how... And the amount of heat that's coming out is nowhere near the level of what the PS5 Pro is. So technically the Series X could push more if they really wanted to. It's got capacity to push more.
But due to the parity clause, even though it runs better on other hardware, they can't.
No, they can. There is a parity clause for this.
Yeah.
The Series S version graphics are graphics, right? It's got nothing to do with functionality. So the parity clause wouldn't come into effect. They can make.
No, I'm talking about like Sony's.
Oh, this game is in a Sony game, so Sony can't do anything.
Fair.
But Sony does that, yeah. But then again, Xbox was doing that in the 360 days, so.
I mean, every company that's in charge of the generation is the company that does that. Basically.
Interesting, though. But that wattage is just crazy.
Yeah. So many people also have complained about the fact that it's a 20 gigabyte install and then everything else is downloaded. Which I find kind of funny that everyone is attacking them for that. I'm like, really? It sucks, but I'm not shocked.
But here we do have something that I need to talk about before we get to some of the more interesting stuff. Because I think this is worth talking about. Right? And this is something that you can actually answer to, Chille, as a bona fide pony. How is it that you have had more price increases than first party releases this year?
What can I say? We like increasing the price of stuff.
How can you have? I mean, at this point, $224 or $225, and you don't even get day one
Canadian
games?
dollars.
I don't care what it is. it still looks look. It still looks good, and as Nibs would say, it's still factually correct. Oh mate, I had a run in with him on X the other day. He couldn't handle the truth.
That would be £122, which is crazy still. Isn't that cheaper than what we pay?
Yeah, but currencies are different, right? Their standard of living isn't going to be based on that currency. They're still paying $225 for premium.
Yeah.
The basic edition, just so they can play online, is $110.
It's 100.
Remember the days when it used to be $50, 60 Canadian dollars? It's pretty much doubling it now.
Yeah. Well, that $109 is £59 for the year.
This is mental. Not only did they just recently increase the price of the PS5, but I think this is the fourth country now. They announced 3 countries first that they were increasing PS Plus, and then they released this one at midnight, hoping no one would notice.
I mean,
I did ask about Grabby. I said, if I have time, we will check it out.
it's not on for a few hours, Rabbi, so we're not going to just load it up and then look at it for an hour and a half.
Piracy? It's got nothing to do with this. The tariffs have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
No competition has everything to do with this. They can do what they want.
Well,
get away with it.
Game Pass is competition with Plus.
Not really. Anything related to Xbox is no longer competition.
Really?
Yeah. Did you also know, I actually found this out recently, right? I didn't know this. And this is a PSA to everyone. I don't know if Xbox works like this. But apparently, let's say you went and bought a game on... And name a game, Chille. A game that you really like that's not Final Fantasy 14 on PlayStation.
Oh, damn it!
Go on, name one game.
Man,
they've got no games at all. You can't even find one. The proof is in the pudding, chat.
Bleach Rebirth of Souls. There we go. I've been playing that a lot.
Okay, so let's say you bought Bleach for £70 and you're really happy with it. And then a month later, PlayStation Plus has that available for free.
Yeah.
And so, you know, while you're claiming the other games, you claim that one as well.
Yeah.
Did you know that overwrites your paid license? And so if you
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
At that point, if you stop and subscribing to PlayStation Plus, you actually lose access to that game.
That is crazy.
This isn't BS. This is real. It was all over Reddit a couple days ago.
Because for the longest time, the PS Plus version was its own separate SKU, right?
It was, but now now it overwrites your paid license.
Wow.
Now the person didn't come back and complain, and this isn't the first time I heard it. First, I thought it was BS when I heard it some time ago, but when it's more than once, it's, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And someone else from Xbox Zero corroborated it that you do lose access. I don't know if you actually go and revert your licenses, if it overwrites it or not. I'm not willing to test that theory. But that is mental. You pay for something really and you lose the license because PS Plus. Not only did they screw you over with PS Plus because you can't get the the paid for upgrades with it, but now it replaces.
You can't even pay to upgrade your which is that is one of the worst parts about Plus games. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't even give you money to upgrade them. Like, yeah.
Literally everything about it is anti-consumer. But now, look at it. This is what PlayStation fans have been waiting for.
I mean, I'm probably going to stick with premium for now. Not going to lie. I don't know what I use with premium, but
I don't
I still
think
have it.
I've streamed a PS3 game once in all my time that I've had premium. I was actually supposed to drop down to extras this year, but Sony still managed to take my money for premium when I said no. And you can't get a refund because they won't give you any.
No. Yeah. Well, you got the oh no, because you've got the other extra games with extra, right? Premium is just mainly for streaming.
I just never use it. Even those games, I don't use them. I barely touch those.
I
games.
play some of them.
No, it might be good for some people. It's just for me, I'm not using any of
Like
that.
what was it? There was what was it? There was one this month that I kind of wanted to try because I heard a lot about it. Let's see if I can remember what they were. I have to find them. Blueprints I've heard a lot of good things about. So. And you know what? I've always wanted to try Battlefield 1, so I'll probably download that as well. So.
But yeah, I mean, I've just never used it. I don't know why. It's just most of the games I want to play are probably already on Game Pass anyway, so I get them off there.
Yeah.
And Game Pass usually has them earlier as well, so I don't know. It's always I've never really utilized the service. I don't know why I've been paying all that money. But man, when you're talking about $220, $25, at some point, looking at a PC starts to become attractive. When you're paying almost $230, and that's going to go up. These aren't going down. These prices are never going down.
Keep going up.
They're going to keep going up at some point. And if Microsoft is smart right now, while Sony is, increasing their prices left, right, and center, if Microsoft is smart, they will maintain the price that they have for Game Pass Ultimate.
They won't. They're going to increase the price.
Oh, that's what you ponies wish for. But they haven't made any inclination that they will.
I mean, neither did Sony until they did it.
I mean, Sony's been doing it. This is the second or third price increase they've done.
Yeah. I think the last one for Game Pass was a while ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. No one, Devin. I just thought I'd give something back.
Oh, last year.
I thought I'd give something back to you lot. Yeah, when Call of Duty was landing.
Yeah,
increased by
25%
£1.
increase last year.
I don't know if it's 25%. Increased from
£2.
£2, yeah, £13 to £15.
Yeah.
Not from $189.99 to $225. That's a big
No,
jump.
that's about right? That's about the same increase, right?
You got an 18%
that's-
increase here.
Yeah, but 220. Yeah, this 224 is the year, though, right?
Yeah.
That's not per month. That'd be crazy. So yeah, £12.99 went to £14.99. That'd be times that by 12. So
I'm paying $160 a year, man.
yeah. No one's saying that'd be the weekly cost. Yeah, Steve. This $284 is the weekly cost. Look, that's why I questioned it, because you never know if
I mean, I would have.
I'm not
Soon
like,
TM. Soon TM.
like that's why I'm not questioning it.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Sony is just increasing price after, and they don't need to, right? At a time when stuff is getting cheaper,
No.
they're just increasing it. There's the worst part is they're offering zero in value for the increase. This is the second increase that they've done,
Yeah.
and they've not increased the value of what you're getting at all.
I mean, they decreased it, right?
Yeah.
because they're removing PS4 games from next year. I think, or was it this year?
Last time they removed the Vita games.
Yeah.
That they were giving,
and then announced that PS4 games are being removed from Plus.
Yeah. So not only are they
I can't remember
decreasing
when
the
it was.
value, but they're increasing. See, this is the thing why when people say, "Oh, look at Game Pass and this and that," they're giving you day one games, right?
Yeah, January 2026, PS4 games will no longer be a benefit.
I mean, just look at it this way: Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom, Call of Duty, Starfield expansion, and there's a bunch more games coming as well. That's paid for this year's and next year's Game Pass subscription already.
Yeah, I can't wait to buy Doom, not gonna lie.
You've got real value there. This just takes the piss. I mean, at least on premium, Sony should be throwing some day and date games in there for that price. That's unacceptable. But ponies do like to pay for that.
I mean, yeah, I'm lining up to buy both Forza and Doom. You can keep Indiana Jones though, and you can also keep.
Apparently, it's done
Starfield.
really well for you guys. It's been selling like hotcakes. Although some people are upset because the game, you got a physical that's really not a physical.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said earlier, because it's a 20 gigabyte install with a 100 gigabyte download.
Yeah, but PlayStation discs only hold 100 gig.
Yeah.
You can't get the full game on.
They're like, why don't they include 2 discs? But that's wasteful, really.
Hey, Devin with the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much. As you know, this stream is demonetized, so
is it 105 gigs, Steve? I thought it was 100. I thought it was 120 for Indiana Jones.
124 to be exact.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not 105 gigs, Steve. Unless you're talking about the download, in which case the download's 105 gig, probably.
Yeah, that's 105.
Yeah.
Where is this that I'm looking for? Nope. That's what I'm looking for.
And it's the original, the last Xbox that's limited in the current one, right? Isn't it? If I'm rightly, I don't know if that's still true or not when it comes to that.
What's that?
The fact the Xbone didn't support anything above 50 gigabyte discs.
I don't think the Series
Microsoft.
Either.
Now the Series X supports 100 gigabyte movie discs at least.
Yeah, movie, but not gaming.
Yeah.
So, gifted subs were Paul Harris, Weapon Next, PS5 Blows, Torino Johnson, and SHJ. Rabbi, you said 10 o'clock. But, while we were showing the Division footage, this is landing. The game is returning to Brooklyn. And I
remember
really
playing the
excited for
Division
this.
1.
I am really
I never
excited
replayed
for
2.
this. 2 was okay, but they changed it too much.
Yeah.
And the open map really wasn't what I was... It really wasn't it.
Yeah.
But going back to Brooklyn is going to be sick.
As I said, I still remember one of my greatest moments in media is when at Eurogamer Expo they were closing down the booth area, and the head writer of my website, PSU, right? He owned the site at the time. They went to go play it, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't allow media. We're closing. We don't have time for media, and we're sorry." And so he's like feeling really sad. And he saw me afterwards, and he said, "Oh, I wanted to go play Division, but they weren't going to let me because they were shutting down the machines." I said, "Oh, that sucks." And I went up and said, "Oh, I'm with media. Can I plan? Can I play this tomorrow? Can I get booking for tomorrow? And 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. We'll boot them all up for you. He was so pissed off that they declined him, but they went and turned everything on for me. And invited 6 more other people to try it.
Yeah, this is one of my guilty pleasures, honestly, The Division. And I cannot believe, right, for the life of me, that...
It's like a good version of Marathon.
Dynasty has waited.
They have not, what is it? Marathon, go away. But no, it's not cross-progression. They've been doing cross-progression on their games for so long, and this one is not cross-progression. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because they only have 4 people working on it.
No, they've got more than that. They've got a dedicated team now. I mean, they're making the Division 3.
Now. Man.
But come on, this should be cross-progression. Like, my account is on PlayStation, right? I've got, 2 years worth... 2 to maybe 4 years worth of play on there. I don't want to restart from ground zero and have to do everything all over again.
No, cross progression is always useful for any multiplayer game, in my opinion.
It's just something I'm not prepared to do. I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I actually want to play it with friends and I can't. Hey, Wayne's World.
Paul says Marathon was crap years ago and looks crap now. Actually, I was impressed by Marathon. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I thought the showcase they did was bad, but I'm excited for Marathon. I'm not gonna buy it.
Of course you are.
No, I said I'm not gonna buy it.
You will.
No, it comes out the same day as Borderlands. I'm sorry, Borderlands comes first. No, Paul, I did not play the original Marathon games, but Borderlands 4. I'm sorry, Chaos. Borderlands 4 with cross-play. That's day 1.
Day 1, huh? You know what? Let me do a quick poll in the chat.
I might hate Randy Pitchford, but I love Borderlands.
Let me do a quick poll in the chat. Because this will derail the stream that I've prepared for today. Completely. So I will leave it up to the community.
Do I get booted because I said I like Marathon? Is that why it
No.
diverts the We're gonna have Chille until he said that. Yeah, Randy's still in the industry, Steve. Surprisingly. Did you see the Mario Kart thing?
Alright, chat. A quick 1-minute poll. Go. Because that's going to derail my stream entirely. Because Rabbi wants us to change and I've got it up, but it's what people want.
I don't even know what Galaxy is. Should I even vote? Isn't that cheating?
You can vote.
Do you know what? I don't know what Galaxies is, so I'm just going to go with stream.
It's just it's showcase. Gaming showcase.
Okay.
While they're doing that, it looks like the April update for Xbox is here. Stream your own game now on Xbox consoles, which is cool. You can buy more games.
Yeah.
And apparently the
That's cool.
new game hubs on consoles is here as well. Yes, it is, because I've seen it.
Nice.
Well, at least I've got it anyway on mine.
Okay, the remote play feature is cool. I like that.
So Galaxies is essentially just this. This is the stream that was happening. It's a showcase of random third-party games. That
looks a bit like Helldivers, but not really. Is it a Wolfenstein game?
I don't know.
I like the cape, though. I'll give it that. Just realised you're not even subscribed to IGN.
No, I unsubscribed from them ages ago. They're a trash place.
I mean, to be fair, Steve, it's an indie game and it's early access as well. The Trench Tales.
So we can have this on in the background if you want, or we can switch over to what I'm talking about and carry on with the news. What did people want? It is very split.
Oh. 45. Yeah.
Yeah, Digital Foundry is owned by IGN. In fact, they're all owned under one umbrella, right?
Yeah. A lot of companies are owned by the same.
I think I'll do that. I'll flick back and forth. So, Doom is releasing a bunch of stuff, and I think I'm the only one on the planet that doesn't like it.
Doesn't like which part?
I don't like the controller.
Which?
And the Elite one isn't
Which
worth
one?
buying because that one breaks down within 30 seconds. But the green one I just don't like. I don't mind the
I
wrap.
don't like the fact that the console looks good. I wouldn't say great, but it look. I would. Okay.
It's a wrap, by the way.
It's not even a. It's just a sticker. Okay.
No. It's a complete wraparound. It's what they do now. They don't release limited edition consoles because they might actually sell. So what they do is they release these $50 wraps that cost them probably 50p to make. So I guess the markup on these is... Well, no, it's not a sticker because it doesn't stick. When you wrap it around, there's Velcro on the back. That's...
what the... What?
It's actually really cool. It actually... I've got the Starfield one. It's really nice. So the design of it and the thought of it is really good. And the markup that they're going to get off these is insane. But I just don't like the controller.
Why does the controller look like it's got a PlayStation button?
Where?
I know it's supposed to be the Xbox buttons, but I swear the left button, not above the ugly analog stick. No, to the right.
This?
To the right. Further to the right. There, that.
That's the,
that looks a bit like the PlayStation symbol to me.
It's the weird symbols of thing. Doom.
It is supposed to be, but
in fact, it's not even that. They're Japanese symbols. It looks like.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Well, anyway, I don't like that controller at all.
Does anyone actually like this? I don't.
If I can replace that red analog stick with another grey analog stick like that, then maybe I would like it a little bit better. I just don't like the fact that you got one red and one grey. And I also kind of don't like the D-pad colouring as well.
Jago, you are one lucky person. You're literally the first person that I've spoken to that actually says that Elite hasn't broken. I had 2 Elite ones and they're both busted with literal minimum use. If you got Steve to admit he hates Gears, I will gift 5 more subs. Steve, do it. Even if you don't mean it, just do it.
Yeah, free subs. Well, not free, but subs. You know, I'm gonna like that. But no.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, dude.
Steve says, who buys these controllers to use? Clearly, there's a display controllers.
I mean, my Starfield
What
one
do you
is
get out of this
pretty
deal?
much on display. What do you get out of this deal? You're still a super moderator in chat. You can mess about with him as much as you want. You can get your own back once you're back in Discord. You've got the power of God in Discord. What more do you want?
I still found it annoying that I have a DualSense Edge, and it stopped working. So I decided to order a new one on Curry's because I really enjoy my Edge for certain games.
Not after today.
And then it worked after that.
Not after today if
this?
you don't admit it. I told you the games aren't going to be great that they're going to showcase here. It's just a random.
Is this like B-Tech Among Us?
No, this is like what was that? Miami Hot? What was it called?
Miami.
Hot Wire Miami, something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. DualSense battery dies so fast, it's crazy.
He has to say it in a super chat. Devin is making sure he's got receipts. The DualSense is shocking, yeah. You've never played Hotline Miami, well, whichever way it is. Hotline
I've
Miami?
never played Hotline Miami either.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Did you watch the Switch Direct today?
Only half of it before I passed out. It was really boring. But we'll check it out today.
Really? You thought it was boring?
I thought it was really... Well, I thought it was boring. It was just Mario Kart. There's nothing new to it.
I mean, what do you expect to be new to Mario Kart? It's Mario Kart.
No, give me something that's going to
Mario
say,
Horizons.
wow. Steve, you got to do it, man.
I guess that's where I'm certain franchises I go in expecting the specific, it's Mario Kart. I don't want anything to make me go wow, because that might be frustrating to see. I don't know.
But we'll check that out in a little bit. But did you see this? Everyone is going crazy about Phil Spencer saying that Game Pass isn't for everyone. And he said that in a recent interview, right? This week. Now this is a clip from last year.
Every game that's in Game Pass is available for sale, so we're not trying to turn the world into a subscription-only world. Every game that's in Game Pass is available for sale, so we're not trying to turn the world into a subscription-only world, I promise. That's not our plan. And we think it's a great model for certain teams, and for other teams that decide it's not the right model for them ever or right now, that's also totally cool. Every game...
So, considering he said that last year, how is there any different to him today saying it's not for everyone? It's a consistent message, no?
I mean, yeah, it is a consistent message. He's been saying the same thing the entire time.
But this is big news now, according to the media. This is bigger news than Sony
because the media has nothing else to cover.
They do! They've got the price increase to cover from Sony!
Okay, they've got nothing that they want to cover.
Oh, for God's sake. How's it going, Wayne?
You're going to get more clicks from people talking about Phil Spencer than a random price increase. Because Phil Spencer brings in clicks because of...
This is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I'm seeing this everywhere.
You're right.
And everyone is like... I'm seeing a bunch of pony podcasts like, oh, see how Game Pass is not doing well, and Phil Spencer finally admitting this. Wait, what is he admitting? Something that he said? I mean, he even says in the interview, right? Yeah. For me, I look at Game Pass as a healthy option for certain people. It's not for everybody. If you play 1 or 2 games a year, Game Pass probably isn't the right business model for you. You should just buy those 2 games. And that would make total sense. But I want you to have a choice. And that's the key here, right? I want you to have a choice. You can go buy your games or rent your games. So we remain focused on everything that's on Game Pass is available to buy. We're making those games available to buy in more places. So
now, just like you, please make more things more cross-buy as well. That'd be very nice. I'd like that. Well, it wouldn't affect me. I don't buy Xbox games, but still, that'd be very nice.
I mean, for me, if it's Play Anywhere, I will buy it on the Xbox app or Xbox console ahead of Steam. That's like easy clap, 100%. You value Gears? Well, Steve, you're just gonna have to cough up what he's offering then, right? 5 gifted subs. That's how this works, man.
Oh.
That's how this works.
Wayne says I'll stick to one-player games. I like my co-op games. I'm not a big fan of PvP that much. Like, that's not my type of game, but I do like me some co-op. I say that, but I'm addicted to Marvel Rivals, and I'm going to spend more money on an outfit just so that it's a different color. So I can't really say much.
It's just mental.
Anyone play RuneScape Dragon White? Not yet.
I haven't played that. I've not really been a RuneScape person, but I've seen it advertised. But co-op games are more fun.
I watched a YouTube video of someone complaining about... I think I watched a YouTube short by someone that was like it's basically just a worse version of Valheim. They haven't even added animations that Valheim has. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why Game Pass is so cool, Wayne. You don't have to spend that much money to play games. You can literally go and buy an Xbox Series S or an X and just subscribe to Game Pass, and you pretty much can be done with buying games for the whole year. Or if you want Game Pass at a cheaper rate, PC's an option. Because you get it for
You also have the Microsoft Rewards, right?
You have Microsoft Rewards, although as of...
I've never worked how you use it, but I've heard about it.
So in 3 days, they're increasing the price. Let me show you how it works.
Because I think you got to use Edge, and I only ever use Chrome.
You don't need to use Edge.
Oh, okay.
So, essentially, you come over here, and you just got a bunch of clicks to do a day, which my kid does for me. And if you do it every day, you get a bonus over here, which helps. And you just go through and just click on the ones with points on them.
Nice.
And then you've got to do a certain number of searches for anything on PC. You get 3 points per search. So you just search for stuff in Bing, which you can use on Chrome. Just go to bing.com and start searching. And then you do the same on mobile. And that's it. And then if you've got the Xbox app, you can... you get points for playing a Game Pass game, playing a game on PC, playing a game on console. And so, yeah, you just get points like that. And then you can redeem it. You can redeem those for a month, 3 months worth of Game Pass.
Paul said someone fired? I can tell you now it's not me.
No, it was Steve.
It you?
It was definitely Steve. But yeah, the thing is, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you go straight to level 2.
Oh, nice.
If What it used to be 12,000 points to get. Well, currently it is 12,000 points still to get Game Pass Ultimate. In 3 days, it's going to go to 17,000, so they've increased it by 5,000. But considering it's free, I don't really care. I mean, all of this that you do takes like 5, maybe 10 minutes of your day to do everything.
But talking about free stuff to actually win, I because I have Android. I don't know if you do Google Play rewards at all.
I don't.
I'd highly recommend it. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I won a voucher for £5 off anything in Argos. So that was cool. Yeah, that's my weekly. You do it once a week. So that's my weekly.
How to compete in every possible Indiana Jones. That is not true. That's lies. Pure lies.
Hey,
But
tell
also,
us.
Phil continued his escapade of interviews. So, in another interview, Phil, on Microsoft Gaming Business, no longer Xbox Gaming Business, but Microsoft Gaming Business, committed to developing new IP, which I think is cool. New IP is always nice. Not rehashing the same stuff. So, I think that's definitely a plus. Game Pass is still a healthy option, and when you consider how much Game Pass is making a year, give or take anywhere between $5 and $6 billion, and it's costing around $2 billion, so the average profit currently is about $4 billion. I think that's pretty healthy, don't you? Hey,
It's pretty healthy.
You know, they're not just
Pretty healthy.
They're not just gonna throw away $4 billion of profit. I mean, even with a bit of inflation here and there, let's just say 3 billion or 3.5 billion. That's still a good amount of money that they're getting off Game Pass. So it's definitely doing them good. He did, however, say he's a big believer in Nintendo. And now I'm not sure if the games mentioned came from him or if that's what people are tooting, but they are 3 specific games that apparently are headed towards the big N. And that is Master Chief Collection, Diablo 4.
I mean, there's been a rumor for a life.
And the Microsoft Flight Simulator?
So which ones were they again?
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Diablo 4. See, Diablo 4 I can see.
Especially with the new mouse Joy-Con.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Master Chief I can see is. From what I've heard, if it is true and it is the Master Chief collection, from what they're not actually going to release the whole collection at once, but they're going to roll it out over time, like they did on the PC and Xbox release, where PlayStation and Switch will get Halo 1, then later on they'll get Halo 2, later on they'll get Halo 3, and you just buy the collection, and then as they finish and update them, they'll be rolled out in the collection. They won't be all added at the same time.
I'm not sure.
And with Microsoft Flight Simulator, I can see that too, because
it's all run by the cloud.
A lot of it, I was gonna say a lot of it's cloud-based simulation anyway. So, yeah, you're right, Paul. Halo 1 is a 17-year-old game, but they did with the remaster for the Master Chief Collection, right? They took how long was it? About 6 months between each release on PC.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to do the same thing this time?
Yes. I mean, they did it on Xbox. Then they released it later on PC and did it on PC.
Not sure.
Of course, they're going to do it again on PlayStation and Switch. If they're real, of course. Like, if they're real.
I don't see the value in doing that.
I mean, I can see the value, to be honest.
You're not making money.
Like, no, but you're also not overwhelmed. Like, there's a lot of people that are only PlayStation on Nintendo. They not owned a Xbox and they don't play on PC. They've never really experienced Halo. And it's better for you to release it in the slow bundle than overwhelm someone by dropping everything at once. If you drop everything at once, you can overwhelm the consumer.
Really? Just
I mean, yeah.
have self-control and play what you can when you can.
You just use the word self-control and gamers in the same sentence.
Yeah. People should know self-restraint.
You're right, they should. But they don't.
I think the show's finished.
No, Paul, there'll be £70 one time for Master... Well, £80 maybe. But still, it'll be a one-time purchase.
Yeah, it's finished. It wasn't even that long.
Show was poop. I wasn't... maybe it was that bad.
But the biggest one here is more unannounced games, and he doesn't want to... He says, some stuff that's unannounced, and I'm walking in my head to make sure I don't leak anything. Now, clearly, he can't be talking about Oblivion. I know that's unannounced, but
Yeah.
that's been rumored so long. To count that as an unannounced game would be stupid. So what could we expect that's unannounced? I mean, we know of Gears E-Day, but could they actually show the next true Gears? Where everyone just beats up Dom for no reason?
And Steve is the main character.
No. Baptista is going to be he's going to take over.
I'm not talking about our Steve. I mean, like, for some reason, Minecraft Steve, played by Jack Black.
Yeah. That was such a good movie.
I want to see it at some point. I've just ordered the tickets for Thunderbolts. Last of Us Xbox Edition said bullets kill.
Last of Us. I mean, what if some of these are PlayStation releases that are being ported over?
Yeah. I mean Spider-Man, maybe? Pharmacy 7?
Would that be unannounced, though? That's kind of been rumored for ages. I guess it is unannounced.
I mean, until it's announced, it's still unannounced, even if it's rumored.
Yeah, I guess so, but that doesn't really instill me with that much joy, because I'm expecting to see that either at the partner event, potentially being done next week, or the June showcase.
I mean, either way, it's still not unannounced. It's still an unannounced game until it's announced.
Or maybe it's
even
Final
if you
Fantasy
think
17.
Nah.
Exclusive on Xbox.
You're more likely to see it exclusive on a Nintendo console than you at Xbox.
Look.
Gore says I'm pre-ordering the Thunderbolts tickets next week. Nice. Yeah, I've got the tickets on the 1st. I've got an IMAX 3D ticket. So then I'm gonna go spend all my money on steak afterwards. Because I have to travel 2.5 hours to get to the cinema.
That's far, man. I just traveled 5 minutes.
You don't want to go to my cinema. You don't want to go to my local cinema. You don't. It has a loom on stage for some reason. Right, you know those old cinemas that used to have curtains.
Mm-hmm.
Ours still has that, and they've been set on fire so many times they've got burn marks.
But you know what they don't have?
Good seats.
Baptista playing Marcus Phoenix, Vin Diesel playing Dom,
Chaos playing. I forgot the characters from. Wait, is there actually a Gears of War real life action movie coming? I want back to fan movie.
It's kind of been on and off, and Baptista and Vin Diesel have been the front runners for it. But instead of them arguing about who's going to take Marcus Phoenix, I just think Baptista should take Marcus Phoenix and Vin Diesel should take Dom and be done with it.
I don't know how.
I mean, Steve would approve, and that's really thing. What do you mean, tell us?
This is from.
You're gonna have Vin Diesel there going as Dom. It's all about family.
Okay, Chaos. This is a picture of my local cinema from 5 years ago on Google, okay? Right? Do you want to see it? You ready to see it? This is from 5 years ago.
Are you sharing your screen?
Okay. I'm going to send you on Discord.
Okay.
This is from Google. I don't have a picture myself. I Googled the cinema.
Oh, let's see. Oh shit. Yeah, that's something Harry Potter.
Those seats?
That is something out of some kind of fairy tale, man.
The cinema was opened in the 1980s, right? And the seats are the exact same seats since the 1980s. They haven't replaced them. The owner says they don't want to ever replace them, so they're the same seats since the 1980s. So, yeah. And they have one screen, by the way, in the whole cinema. So.
Arc 3 is still coming, Bags. I don't know what's really happened
Yeah,
with it,
Paul.
but it's still coming.
Yeah, I only have one cinema, Paul, and that is it. And they have one screen, and that is it. It's also the screen is also set on fire several times. So there's that. Also, you don't want to go there at night because you have to go where it looks like you feel like you're gonna be mugged at any point. Like you.
It does,
Like-
right, Bags?
Chaos, like, I don't want you to see this. I don't want you to show this on Twitch because, you know, it's near me. But you would not feel safe going here at night, right?
No. No. I'd show you, chat, but I can't. For your own personal safety.
That's the cinema, by the way. Look at the satellite dish they still have on the rusty satellite dish.
Jesus, man.
And you can see how modern it is because it's Deadpool, so it's not that old, the photo. So, yeah.
That thing looks like something from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
I think it's actually for sale.
That
so-
wouldn't surprise me.
If you want to buy it.
No. Not at all. So apparently, Phil had a statement that he said in this thing over here, which reads, "For us and the rest of this calendar year, I really feel great about the slate of games. We just had Avowed come out, and I had to go backwards and just say Obsidian continues to do a great job. We've obviously talked about the Outer Worlds 2, South of Midnight, Doom. There's more stuff, some stuff that's unannounced, and I'm walking in my head to make sure I don't leak anything." So there's quite a lot that's still to come, get announced, and I'm guessing we're going to see some really cool stuff in the actual showcase that we're going to get from Microsoft. Obviously, you've got idiots like Tripster. By that, he means more games coming to PlayStation. I mean, they can't literally have one post without actually console warring. Him and Oliver are probably the two biggest idiots. I think. I guess the generic Eric too. I don't know how they function.
But only a specific generic Eric, because there's one I like.
No. If you know the one I'm talking about,
Yeah.
you'd be like, no. He's bad. But so Marathon, you mentioned Marathon. Before I continue with the next reveal that I was going to show, what do you think of Marathon?
I mean, Steve, I there's a different generic that I know than Chaos knows. Their name is because it's two streamers called Jen and Eric that would stream together, so they would call themselves that. So now they work for Blizzard, actually. They're in charge of the social media team for Blizzard for World of Warcraft. So, but no, Marathon, it looks okay to me. Like, I know a lot of people complain about the amount of maps, but it's a extraction shooter. They don't really have that many maps to begin with anyway. Like, I'm not a big fan of the... What?
Tarkov has 10.
Yeah. But how many did it launch with?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yes, it just does.
No, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
No, it does.
No, it 100% doesn't.
No,
this is
it
where I am
does.
going to hard disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you
No.
why I disagree with you.
No,
If your
it totally
competition has way more than you, is performing better than you, and you come along with a watered experience, why should I leave something that has more variety, more options, more gameplay modes, more maps, more things, and go over to something that hasn't? Companies need to realize that is not the way. One of the main reasons
I agree.
One of the main reasons why Avengers failed, other than it being a really buggy experience, was that it just didn't have the game modes that Destiny had. Destiny had, 5 years under its belt? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to release something that is competing with them on their level. Tarkov is pretty much in pole position and the market leader when it comes to extraction shooters. So you need to release something that is going to compete with that head on. Releasing something and then saying, well, they've got 4 years ahead of us, so in 4 years' time we'll have a decent game. That's not going to cut it. I think that mentality is what's killing these games before they even get a chance to actually succeed. If they came out with 8 maps or 7 maps.
I feel like 5 would have been the best. 5 would have been great. No. As I said, 3 is limited. As I even said that. I feel like 3 is low, but as long as we can... Well, it's 4, right? Because there's 3 at 1 right away after launch, right?
And then 1 is coming after launch, but God knows when that's going to arrive.
Yeah.
This is Bungie.
I feel like... Yeah. If they release it somehow in the same launch window... Marathon is September. It says is September, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say the 4th map drops on the first week of November.
Dude, it's
I think
already
that'd be
releasing during the worst period you could possibly get in September.
Yeah, because Borderlands.
It's launching alongside Borderlands, potentially the Starfield expansion and the Diablo expansion.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah. And Starfield will probably also launch on PlayStation with that expansion.
I think it's coming sooner. I think June Showcase.
I don't think so.
I think June Showcase.
No, I think it'll be. I think it'll be at the June Showcase.
Well,
but I don't think it will have an official release until.
I think you'll see it sooner because
September.
Xbox is due an update and it's missed its scheduled update. Well, not scheduled, but they're supposed to have 2. You know how 14 does 2 small updates, then a big update.
Yeah.
So it's missed its update cycle already, and they keep saying something big is coming. So
Taz, there's no Diablo 4 expansion this year.
No Diablo expansion this year, but they'll have an update.
Well, they've got the
during
World
that
of
period.
Warcraft one probably.
They'll have an update during that period.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just going to leave it dry. It's a live service at the end of the day. But the point I'm making is that period is going to be quite busy. So you've got a
I mean,
lot
they
to
just
compete
announced that, wasn't it? Was it Overwatch getting Gundam stuff?
with. What now?
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is getting Gundam collab.
All right, boys, we're going to be playing some Overwatch. We're playing some Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 Gundam Wing collab just got announced.
Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Okay, boys.
Overwatch 2 X Gundam Wing.
Yeah, we're taking that. We take that previous statement back. There's going to be no Overwatch being played on this show. We can continue moving on. I thought you was talking about a good Gundam. Man turns around and gives me one of the ones that make the least sense in Gundam Wing.
I suppose it's for the 30th anniversary of Gundam Wing?
Yeah, I mean Gundam Wing. It's not a bad anime. I just don't think it's. I mean, it's better than Turn A Gundam, right? And that's not saying.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I've never watched Gundam. I do see people on Reddit just
okay,
with
think
angry
of the
fists.
worst possible show that you can think of that's an anime.
Okay.
And then think worse than that, and then you've got Turn A Gundam. And I'm saying it's at least it's better than that. I'm not setting the bar high here. I haven't to this day.
The GT of Gundam.
Nah, I think it's worse than that. I don't think I've seen a single. At least I've seen people that like GT. I haven't seen. I mean, look,
So it's the Dragon Ball evolution of Gundam.
Taz likes their Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'll only okay. I will say thank you to a few things with Dragon Ball Evolution, right? I will give it credit for a couple of things, right? Dragon Ball Evolution pissed off Toriyama so much that he made Dragon Ball Super. That is the reason why Super even exists, because Evolution pissed him off so much he wanted to make.
But it still
more
has its
anime.
fans, right? Because Taz likes it. But what I'm saying is there isn't a single person out there that I know or that I've seen that actually likes Turn A Gundam. Even in the Gundam fandom, I haven't seen one post where people say it's the best anime they've ever seen. Turn A was just bad. And the worst part is it was actually based around the original UC saga.
Yeah.
But like many years in the future.
Yeah, that's right, Comet. Chris Masters, who was, I think it was Piccolo in Evolution, he felt so embarrassed and bad about what he had to do in Evolution that he did the voice acting for Zamasu in the English dub, but he refused to accept any payment from the company for his voice acting. He wanted it. He wanted the fact that he did the movie is this was his payment for doing the movie.
Oh, cool, Paul. Tarnished, I agree. No one cares about Turn A. That's how bad it is. It is really bad. Like, really, really,
By the
really
way,
bad.
can I just go off topic for one last thing here? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I will say, sometimes those editors are... I was reading some articles about, Toriyama recently, since his passing last year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the editors, they was talking about, he was doing the Q&A with... about stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what exactly it was that Toriyama was getting the issue with, but he had this muscle spasm in his shoulder, right, where he couldn't really move his arm without it being painful. Right, his whole one of his arms was really painful, so he couldn't really do much with it. How a lot of artists have that, RSI sort of thing, but not exactly, right? Anyway, one of the editors traveled across Japan so that they could meet him and ask him why his stuff was late. He said, stuff is late because I'm injured. I can't, I'm in a lot of pain. And they're like, write your name down. And he's like, no, I can't do it. And they're like, write your name down. It's like, no, I can't do it. They're like, write your name down. It's like, fine. So he writes his name. And then they were like, oh, if you can write your name, you can draw a person. I'm like, really? Come on. The man makes you billions. Let him rest. Let them rest. He makes you literal billions.
That's crazy.
Oh. Yeah, if you can write your name, you can draw a manga.
But you know what was probably the biggest shock for me this week? It wasn't the Division
What's
2.
that?
It wasn't the Division 2 unveiling. It wasn't the fact that there's a game showcase today. It wasn't the nonsense that people were talking about Phil Spencer. No. None of that. It was this.
Oh, Sea of Thieves.
No.
Yeah, Skull and Bones, sorry.
Hi everyone,
Yeah.
welcome
They
to
are
the Skull and Bones
getting
Year 2 Showcase. Your feedback and
land
ideas
battles
have helped shape this world.
with
Your passion speaks to the entire Skull and
zombie
Bones team,
pirates.
and for that, we'd like to thank you for your dedication.
Oh, so I can finally
and
talk
support.
about it. That's cool.
Together, we're on the path to even greater things in Year 2 and beyond, as we're committed to support Skull and Bones for years ahead.
So how is your sales?
There's a lot of
And
stuff about
shopping
this game I
analysis?
can't talk about
Because year 2 is
often,
about to
so-
change everything.
And I always forget about when the embargo is, but yeah.
Wait, is Skull and Bones in Game Pass?
At its heart, Skull and Bones is a game about
I don't think
living
it's in
the
Game
pirate
Pass, right?
fantasy.
It's in
Year
Ubisoft
1,
Plus.
Each season focused on introducing a main antagonist that throws the power balance of the Indian Ocean into chaos.
In year 2, we're changing up the way we deliver our content. We'll be introducing major features as the season progresses. This means you'll have new gameplay mechanics and content to discover regularly. With that said, let's dive into it.
Wait, they got season 3 and 4. Sheesh!
Yeah, they're putting a lot of money and time into it. A lot of
No,
people
you
seem
know
to
what?
hate on it,
Season
but
1,
I'll give them credit because
rumors of an imminent war between the Dutch
they
merchant
didn't
company
they didn't
and
abandon
French
it.
Compagnie
They could have
Royale
easily
sparked
abandoned
a
this
relentless
quadruple
arms
A
race.
game, and they
In
didn't.
times
They
of
worked,
turmoil,
and they're
new
trying to
technology
turn
arises
turn
as
that shit
mega
around.
corporations compete for dominance.
I respect
With our
that.
new item ascension feature, you can enhance your loot like never before. Ascended items come with randomized perks and modifiable slots, making each piece of
Gambling!
equipment unique.
You can visit local vendors to tweak the stats and modify ascended gear using materials.
Oh,
and
well.
silver,
Hey,
allowing
5
you to
more
create
gifted
multiple
subs
versions
by
of the same
Devin.
weapon
Thank you
tailored
very
for
much,
different
dude.
scenarios.
I
You'll be
appreciate
able to
it.
fine-tune
A
your
lot.
loadout to master every challenge at sea.
Moonlight
Over
Ace,
the past
Be Nice,
season,
Solid
we
Armor,
received
Lord
feedback
Louis,
that some of
and
our
Jump
players
on
wanted to
Zombie.
engage content at a higher level.
Kinda like that name.
This is why
All got
we're
gifted
introducing
members?
he
world
is a
tiers.
poopy head.
High difficulty challenges will have a better chance of dropping ascended items.
World tiers,
But
isn't
you'll
it
need to prove
Diablo,
your prowess
basically?
by passing what we call
What?
world tier trials.
This?
World
tier
tiers.
progression
I don't
remains
know.
entirely optional.
Diablo
To
has
help
all
you
different world
combat
tiers,
the
right? And you
escalating
can
threat,
scale them up.
We're introducing a medium
Right.
siege ship with incredible explosive power.
For our pirates that have established colossal smuggling empires,
I
on the
agree,
Because
Infinite
I
Indian
Hero.
enjoyed Diablo
We're
3.
introducing major
You had like
improvements
Torment
to your
1, 2,
helmet
3.
series. Now you'll be able to produce
And the higher
different
Torment
items
level, the
from
better drop
manufacturers
rates.
outside
The
of
more,
contraband.
more spongy the enemies are.
Grow your empire even further by investing points into the new Empire
But I'm
Upgrade
actually
Tree.
happy that they've. I mean, they've
This
put
will allow
a
you
lot.
to make
Look at it,
added
they put a
strategic
lot of work
choices
into
for the
this.
growth of your empire. This season is also the last time manufacturing levels and pieces of 8 will be reset. And that's not all.
Okay.
For this first season, we're very excited to announce a brand new PvP feature, Death Tides.
What's that? I mean, this actually looks really good.
Available from our mid-season
Yeah,
update,
I wish I owned this
you'll be
now.
able to
Like I
battle
gave,
other
I
pirates
gave
with
my
a
code to
brand
my
new
co-host,
team-based
and he hasn't
mode.
played it.
Capture control points around the map.
Wonder if we can claim another code from
and unleash
Ubisoft.
epic ultimates like the devastating La Pez mortars, or legendary summons like the
Hashtag
Tylosaurus. Choose from preset ships like the Pirate class, Stormwall, or Paladin, each with unique playstyles. Or bring your own custom loadouts for full control. Battle across 4 unique maps.
Man, Bag, I'm surprised you've not been banned
Sanctuary,
already for saying that.
Sunken Ruins, and Mukiti Falls.
She was about to-
Earn rewards, ships, weapons, armor, and more that
I mean,
carry
I
over
am.
to the main game. XP gained
Are
in
you a
Death
Legendary
Tides
Overtheme
also
fan? That
boosts
sounds
your
familiar,
infamy
Paul.
And Smuggler Pass progress.
You dirty, dirty, dirty man, Paul. You know what Legend of the
In
Overtheme
season
is?
2, Oaths of War, the Indian Ocean is
No, I was thinking the anime.
as the Dutch
It is an
merchant
anime.
company takes over a company megafort from right under their noses. This megafort is a beast with unique phases and
No, no, I'm
Yes,
not
and
thinking of that anime.
devastating
I'm thinking of a
damage.
different anime.
It
No,
covers
that's not
sniper
the anime I'm
towers with
thinking
long
of.
No, no, you're
range
thinking of a
precision,
different one.
healer
This
towers
one
that
isn't that one.
recur
This one is
enemy
a
reinforcements
18
and
rated
mortar
anime.
towers, raining explosive
Yeah.
bombards.
I think of a different one.
Season 2 brings a deeper pirate roleplay experience. Align
But I love
yourself
it when
with
I
the
see
DMC
developers
or the Company
actually
Royale, but
sticking
beware,
with a game
supporting one faction
and,
will
you know,
make the other hostile,
doing what they
affecting
can to
patrols
try
and
and
your
win back
encounters
the
on the high
community
seas.
and
Your
win back
choices
people
will shape
to
your
win
path in this
and
chaotic
turn that
world.
ship around.
Each faction
No
offers
pun
unique
intended.
benefits and
Yes.
opportunities, so the perks and
You know,
items
I
you
mean,
get
yeah,
could've
I
done
want to
influence
support
your
Ubisoft for doing
allegiance.
this.
Concord
As
could
the
have done
Concord
that.
could have done
collective
anything.
player actions will determine the winning side by season's
Literally.
end.
Concord
Entering
didn't turn
the
the
power balance of the
Concord
Indian
didn't
Ocean,
try to turn the ship around.
something
They
that will
blew
carry
themselves
forward
up
into
and
No,
then.
unlike the Titanic,
help you
was
combat
trying to
this
steer
new
away
layer
from
of
the
hostility,
iceberg. They were
we are
like, full
introducing
steam
something
ahead.
you've been
We
asking
see
for
the
since
iceberg.
our game's
Let's
release.
go.
It's time for us to go
And they're
big.
like, but what about all the people on the ship? It doesn't matter. They're coming down with us.
Also, set fire to all the lifeboats beforehand.
God
Bags,
damn it,
Concord could have done
secondary.
stuff.
Large ships will be making their way into Skull and Bones this year, starting with the frigates in Season 2.
Bags, every
This is
game
a
can
colossal
do
vessel
something to
in
try and
comparison
bring
to
it
our
back.
existing
around.
Every game.
small
Especially
and
at
medium
launch.
ships and will pack a punch.
I mean, they could have done a
Increased
complete
number of
overhaul,
gunboats.
right?
With the
Yeah,
number of
yeah. They
could
playable
have
ships
literally
growing each
left it the way
season,
it was.
We wanted to enable you to further push
With
They
the
could give it
knowledge
for
that
free.
once
for
you
free,
reach the limit
making
of
it free to
upgrades.
play.
We're really
The
looking
overhaul
forward to
could have
seeing the unique
redesigned all
builds
the
and
characters,
strategies you will
the
come up with.
skills, everything. You know, people wanted the women to run around with nothing but a thong and bra. They could have done that.
In Season 3,
No one would have
Guts
played it
and
at that
Glory
point
coming
because
this
it would have
fall.
looked so
The
weird.
DMC company war
But
intensifies and a rogue
they could have done
war
anything.
profits from both sides, trafficking weapons and holding skilled officers captive for ransom. To defeat him, you need powerful reinforcements. Introducing officers.
There is never gonna be a
Customize
Concord
your
two.
crew with unique officers, each offering buffs like repair parts.
I mean, factions
increased
would have been the
damage,
ideal
or
choice,
faster
right?
sailing. You'll be able to add multiple officers to make
Yeah,
some
by the way,
match
I like the
advantages
fact that they kept calling stuff in marathon factions. I'm like, yeah, that's why you cancelled. You had Naughty Dog cancel factions, right? Because you didn't want confusion.
Do you know
with your
PlayStation
game.
fans to this day say that Bungie had no involvement in factions being cancelled?
No, they had all. Well, I wouldn't say. Okay, I wouldn't say they had all the involvement, but they had involvement. Like they had there was involvement. I'm not going to use the word all because obviously Naughty Dog has. Yeah.
I mean, they turned around to Naughty Dog and said,
I mean, Naughty Dog asked Bungie. Right?
what's involved with
Well,
this?
Sony did.
This is the
Well,
year
Sony
we'll
told
be
Bungie to
introducing
go and
Land
evaluate
Combat. We're introducing
And they said,
an exciting
this
new
game won't be
feature
successful.
That enhances your pirate experience, perfectly
But they made
complementing your
Concord
adventures
successful,
on the
right?
high seas.
They said Concord would be successful.
By the end of the year, our final season, Eye of the Beast.
And I was
brings the
right in
Unity
that stream,
saga to a
Bags. I was
breathtaking
right.
And thrilling conclusion.
He couldn't admit
The
it,
war
but
between
I was
mega
right.
corporations has left both sides in disarray.
And
Okay,
you
I don't
know
like
I
the
was
word
right.
final
The
season,
desolation and
unless they
destruction
mean
of
that's
their
because
homeland,
of end of
the once
year.
neutral sea people take it upon themselves to summon a fearsome beast to rid the Indian Ocean of mega corporations and pirates alike.
First to the right,
This
Reaper.
season, we're introducing the Kraken. This beast will be massive, bigger than any other monster you've encountered in the past seasons. From dodging their tentacles to
Oh,
avoiding
shit.
its
Oh,
big
there you go,
attacks,
Paul.
the Kraken
Tentacles.
promises to be a feast for a beast.
You'll also be able to join the Hunters Guild and master the art of sea monster hunting.
Oh, sweet! They're adding monster hunting
Purchase the
to
Hunter Dove,
Sea of Thieves.
your specialized ship for hunting, and collect rare meats to sell or
I don't
craft
want my
powerful
channel
meals
to
that
get
boost
flagged.
your crew's buffs.
No.
To support your hunts, we're introducing a new launch ship, the Corvette, specially designed with the ability to deploy your hunter gun. This ability will give you the freedom to hunt sea monsters anywhere in the Indian Ocean without needing to dock.
We hope you enjoyed this glimpse into what's on the horizon for Year 2. To our incredible players, thank you for making this all possible. As we chart our course into Year 2 and beyond, we remain deeply committed to building this game with you and for you. We can't wait to hear your thoughts on the roadmap we shared. So be sure to follow us on our official channels to stay up to date. We are also
So season 1, you're getting Ascent into Chaos, which is World Tiers, which is cool. So at least now you can play the game at your own pace. Item Ascension and PvP mode, that's coming mid-season. Season 2 brings Disputed Waters, so now you get to pick a faction. Large ships, so you get an even bigger ships, and a mega fort to do battle with. Season 3, you get Guts and Glory with reputation system to forge alliances to make your alliance better, an officer system, and you get land combat in Season 3. And Season 4, you got Eye of the Beast, territorial control, conquer and defend. So they're adding, a little bit of RTS into that as well, with more large ships, and they're unleashing the Kraken. This is like a big update.
So be sure to follow us on our official channels to stay up to date.
We are also excited to share that a patch will soon be released to enhance Skull and Bones for the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Let's go! PS5 5 Pro.
Releases tomorrow. For our new pirates, there has never been a better time to try Skull and Bones. You'll be able to try the game for free during our free weekend from April 17th to April 21st and get the game at a reduced price for a limited time. Before we wrap up, we've got one last trailer that's sure to leave you hyped for everything coming your way.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere, you won't want to miss this.
Okay, that's it. That's it. Ah, see, I've got the pirate in me. We're gonna sail the high seas. Yeah, that's kamikaze. We too chill. Of course, everything has to have a skill tree, right? He's not talking.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been talking. Oh.
There's the fort battles. Well, there you heard it, chat. All that pirates are talking the chat right now. Long live piracy. Totally different context, but they still said it. I thought that was really cool. It's a fake eye patch. I can't really lower it over my glasses because then I can't see anything. Going inside the forts, that's year 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Skull and Bones, that actually looked really good.
Oh, there's Twitch drops. I think I can talk about that, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there'll be Twitch drops as well. April 15th. Cell Color, Burnish Bright, Whole Color, and a figurehead.
Of all the names they would use, Burnish. That is very...
Burnish Bright?
No, just the word. The
Burnish
name
Bright?
Burnish is
Okay.
algorithm very friendly right now. Because of ZZZ. I have not seen Wicked City. Did you know that this game over here is coming out in June? And there is no gameplay review yet. Just announcement trailer.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know. I've never heard of it until now.
So this game is basically GTA, but in a cinematic-driven GTA.
Well, you lost me already.
And it looks, in my opinion, I mean, the CEO who left Rockstar went on to start their own studio and created this. And it doesn't look bad. It actually looks alright. I'm actually more interested in that to a certain degree than I am with, what is it? GTA, but here it is.
Where machine learning would evolve past
But
the capabilities of control.
I don't know, it's like they've released no gameplay.
Alpha.
How, you know, at what point are they going to start releasing stuff to show the game?
Sort of. Not really.
I mean, it looks impressive.
Looks like
GTA.
it looks like no. I was gonna say it looks like Entourage.
I mean, it had a little bit of a driver in there for me as well.
Yeah. Hey, that's that guy from Days Gone.
Give us clearance for launch.
Give me access to the back-end system of my city bot, and then we'll talk.
Today is a very special day. Well, it's not every day we get to test the existential potential of...
I will look later, Paul.
This city loves me, Marco.
Some of these people look like character models of other games that I've seen. I swear.
Stop me.
It's basically Watch Dogs. Yeah, you're right, Steve. And Watch Dogs was really good, so maybe I'm excited.
I don't know, it's just they haven't showed no gameplay. Oh,
In his research,
they haven't showed no gameplay, right? And they're offering like a deluxe edition. There's an ultimate edition of this as well that they're doing, where you get the blue version of this. So you got, this is the exotic pack,
Ooh.
and you got the future pack, which is basically blue.
Yeah.
So you can see on the left side of the picture, it's kind of like sunset, whereas on the right it's blue.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're going to be able to play in two different timelines in this game. The present and the future.
Yeah.
But it's like, what is it? You've shown nothing. Your game comes out in 2 months and no one knows what this game is, and you're trying to sell cosmetics?
There's a very generic cosmetics that look like they bought from the asset store as well, in my opinion.
Brick, just a bit of talk about Phil Spencer, the Doom stuff.
Paul, by the way, and it wasn't Driver, but I remember the fact that Sony were working on a new Getaway. You know, when the PS3 was being made.
Yeah, I remember that, and then they cancelled it.
No, they didn't cancel it. It never got cancelled.
Well, it's not made.
It was made, and you technically played it.
What was it?
PlayStation Home.
It got cancelled.
No, but that PlayStation Home is what the Getaway evolved from. The Getaway evolved from that to PlayStation
the
Home.
actual thing got cancelled, though, right?
Yeah, technically, I guess, but the project itself lived on.
Oh yeah, maybe in spirit, just like the guy that made
And
the
the
Ford
engine
Sierra.
and the assets.
The guy that made the Ford Sierra. You remember the Ford Sierra, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that was modeled after the Porsche 911?
That's cool.
And when they asked the owner...
No, I didn't know.
When Jeremy Clarkson asked him which part of this car was modeled after it, because even if I close my eyes, I still can't see it, they said the wing mirror.
Yeah.
If you look at the wing mirror...
Well, from what I can tell, they were focusing a lot more on, like, mini-games in the Getaway 3. There was going to be a lot more, like, interior-based stuff. And because of that stuff got then turned into the like darts mini game and stuff like that. That's in Home.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Home.
So did you guys hear about that game that got cancelled on Xbox, the bullet hell shooter?
No, but I think I saw you tweet about it.
Yeah. Now, this game does cross lines, right? But this company, I think it's a Korean company, they built the game on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch 2, or is it Nintendo Switch, and Xbox. Sony said, yep, it's perfectly okay for them to release the game in its current form without censoring the game. Nintendo, of all companies, said, yeah, we're okay with you releasing it. And Microsoft turned around and said, no, you've got to heavily modify your game, take certain parts of the game out before you can release it. And so the company actually built the game, ported it over to the Xbox, and then basically said, right, we're just cancelling the project. We're going to eat the loss, and we're done with Xbox moving forward.
It seems to be a trend when it comes to those type of games, though, with Xbox recently.
I just don't get it. Like,
yeah.
On one side, Phil is saying that he doesn't want to infringe creativity, and then is imposing on their creativity.
But Infinite, even if PlayStation and Nintendo had to tone it down a little bit, there's a difference between toning something down and completely cancelling it.
Yeah, but the thing is, Infinite, that tone down that Sony and Nintendo were willing to accept, which is the version coming out, is the same version as Xbox.
Yeah.
And that Microsoft still didn't allow it. I don't know, I just think it's crazy.
People seem to attack Sony and Nintendo for toning stuff down, but you also got to remember, they're releasing it in many, many different markets. And you have to make sure that your game follows the rules in all those different markets. You can't just be like, oh, well, this one allows this, so we can release it everywhere. No, you got to make sure that the game is tonally okay for all your different markets. Like, you don't want to release a game that then you just can't release in a country because they have a different rating system. Then you've just got to make sure. So I understand why Sony and Nintendo do have the censorship issues occasionally, because it's not always their fault. It is their fault, but it's not always their fault.
I don't know.
But there's a difference between a little bit of censorship and cancelling.
I think the level of censorship that sometimes Sony does is way overboard.
Is a bit too much.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna,
to the point where it's not even worth playing. Like, the censorship is so bad at times that it's actually distracting from the game. And Sony's been doing that for a number of years now, especially since they got taken over in America. It wasn't like that when they were Japan-based. But all of that stuff started changing once they went to the US. But what I'm saying is the toned-down version is coming out on Nintendo. Right? A family-friendly console designed for kids, and it's coming out. And Xbox is turning around and saying, nah, you just wasted your money. We're not letting you
Infinite,
do it.
by the way, Infinite, this isn't an odd case. There's been a lot of... These are top-down... I'm guessing this is also a top-down shooter, like a lot of the recent ones have been the bullet hells. there's been a lot of anime bullet hells that have been cancelled on Xbox for some reason.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Infinite, it is what it is. I'm just gonna buy it on Steam, so that's fine. I can play it on my Steam Deck as well. It's not a demanding game, so my Steam Deck can run it just fine. But it's what the point I was trying to make with this is that it sends the wrong signal. Night, Paul. Have a good time, mate. Up since 4 a.m. Oof. It sends the wrong signal to other publishers in the Far East, where they built a game and it's just being completely removed off the line. That's where I'm going with it. Don't lump the rest of us with California. Diablo straight in for that defense, man. He's like, nah, you don't put us with those people. No way. Get those people away. Exactly, Woodpit. That's the point I'm getting at. You know, you see games like GTA, which, in my opinion, though it's got nothing to do with characters looking lewd or anything like that, you know, you're okay running into buildings and committing genocide. That's perfectly okay. But showing a bit of skin in a shooter in character art is too much. So what about all these gacha games that are coming along? I mean, ZZZ probably is way more infringing on what they're saying than this game. Is it because ZZZ is bringing them more money and this one isn't exactly going to rock the boat when it comes to making money? I think that's what it comes down to. If it's going to make them a metric ton of money, then they're willing to turn a blind eye. But if it's not, then suddenly that moral compass seems to come on. Right? And I just think they should be... I didn't really play any of that stuff on the Sega Saturn back in the day. But again, if that's the creative...
I didn't even have a Sega Saturn.
If they keep pandering on that they will not infringe on anyone's creative freedom. They want the developers to have full freedom creatively to make what they want. So that's what they're doing. And in return, they're being told, nah, your creative freedom doesn't work here. Try again.
Look, you can make it. It doesn't mean you can be published, but we'll let you make it.
It's just weird. I'm not a fan. But this was a Nintendo Direct, right? It's just a...
Yeah. It was the Switch Mario Kart.
I'm going to try and not fall asleep on this. And the best part is I can actually have the audio on because there's no monetization on this stream.
Let's go!
I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Drivers, start your engines. Welcome to the Mario Kart World game, available exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. What kind of races await you? In Mario Kart World,
I'm kind of. I didn't like the last one. It had nothing that really interested me. But I'm kind of hyped for this one.
Across cities, plains, a desert.
Look, there's me, a cow. It's almost as fat as I am.
You can drive virtually everywhere in this fully interconnected world. Races are held on
By the way,
courses
go back a
scattered throughout
second.
various regions that span this world. And even the ocean.
Get to the map.
Virtually.
You see underneath you see where the star is?
Yeah.
Around there? That's going to be where Rainbow Road is. I can tell you now. I already know. Because Korean Nintendo decided to post a map with all the locations of all the different tracks, and they had Rainbow Road right above the Princess Peach's castle. So yeah, we know that it's there because Korean Nintendo posted a picture on their website. So there you go. Rainbow Road is right there. It's confirmed at least. Anyway.
E-Ranks, what do you mean by an alternate truth? You mean like something else going on here? There being another reason? Because the developers came out and basically openly said that Microsoft said they had to make heavy changes to the game if they want to release it. Which they're not prepared to do. But as you say, in Cyberpunk, I think actually Cyberpunk goes way ahead of what Mature and Graphic does compared to that game. But Cyberpunk makes them a lot of money. The other
Cyberpunk is also from a bigger company. And if they said no to them, imagine what the public would be like. Oh, well, no, Microsoft said no to that big company that everyone likes, CD Projekt Red. And there'll be a lot of backlash because of that. This company nobody's heard of.
Yeah, I think it's just down to money.
Not just money, but also the size of the company as well. Money helps a lot, but like...
Everywhere in this fully interconnected world. Races are held on courses scattered throughout various regions.
I think I made it to the 6th minute before I fell
and you
asleep.
can freely drive between them.
It was 16 minutes.
There's a lot in store, and we're only at the starting line.
Yeah.
Let's introduce some of the courses that are waiting for you. Here we go.
Okay.
So this looks interesting, but
Courses are found throughout the world, inspired by their
I
surrounding
don't know.
region. Let's take a look
maybe
at some
I'm
of the
just
new
not the
courses to
target
explore.
audience. It doesn't wow me. But it's not doing anything that the other
Ride the ridges and roads
games
on Mario
did
Brothers
that were
Circuit.
not here.
And cruise the
I mean,
curves around the
I
canyon.
don't
You can't
need that
miss
with Mario Kart. I just need a new one. That's all I'm looking
the
at it
sights
as.
and structures
Like
of Cloud
Pokemon, I
City.
don't go in expecting to be wowed
But why
by
do
it.
I need a new one when they
even
could just
soar
bring
in
me more
style
maps
down Main
and
Street.
keep the current one going?
I mean, they did for 10 years.
Yeah, and it doesn't need really changing. Graphically, it
Not
doesn't
really,
look,
but
it doesn't look that advanced. Like it doesn't look like there's been that big of an upgrade graphically.
Stay cool in the snowy
no.
trails of
The only
Stark Peak.
the only update is the fact that it's got more players.
Just don't
but
slip
they
off
could have
while soaking up the scenery.
patched that in.
I mean, depends on if it's an engine limit.
Showing at the ghostly
I'm pretty sure they're
movie
using the
theater
same
Boo Cinema.
engine.
It's probably the
a
same
whole
engine.
new kind of drive-in theater.
What I'm saying is, for them to turn around and charge
in
80,
addition
90
to
bucks for a
lots of
game,
new courses,
I'm not seeing
there's
a jump
Toad's
in
Factory.
what you're getting to warrant
Peach
that
Beach.
price point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This feels like more like...
And that's why I would say that
and more.
I agree, and that's why I would say if you were going to buy, if you know you want this game,
Get it
you
with
should
the
only
Switch.
buy it
throughout the world,
the Switch 2.
where races can
That's
happen
it.
during the day or at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting the 429 version, so it comes with the console.
Yeah.
So I'm basically getting it for 30 quid.
familiar
At 30 pounds, I
characters
think
like
it's a good
Mario.
price, right? At 40 pounds,
Yeah, and
still
I would
think it's a
agree.
good
Like,
price.
if you're getting this with the Switch 2 itself, it's a good price. I don't think it's worth the 80. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely worth at least 30.
Yeah,
Also,
30
how are
pounds, I think
Goombas only being added?
That's right.
No.
Cow.
I guess that once they added the cows, they had to
Even
add
more
the
new racers are waiting and ready to roll.
Like, wait, what?
Select your character.
Like
Also, I
didn't-
really dislike the character
Here's your
select screen.
vehicle.
I'm not gonna lie.
Then you're off to the races.
They should have just given you the option just to cycle.
Each have different
between
And yeah,
the
as Bullet said,
characters.
the bundle is only limited to the end of this year as well, by the way.
Well,
So,
I've already pre-ordered mine from Amazon.
There are two main styles
Nice.
of race
So
revving
once it
up
comes
in this
through,
world.
it comes through. They
Grand
sent me
Prix and
an
Knockout
invitation
Tour.
if I was interested, and I said,
In both
yes, sir.
modes, up to 24
It's
drivers
mine.
can participate. The
So yeah, I'm one of
most in
those
series
people
history.
that, you know, I've never had a problem
Your
with the console
rivals aren't
price.
the only
I do with
hazards
the game
you'll need
price,
to avoid on the road.
but I'll
Look out
just
for cars that shoot
let my
bullet
brother
bills.
do the buying
Attacks
for
from Hammer
the games.
Brothers.
Mate, you know when?
I mean, I don't buy that
other
Nintendo
obstacles
games
along
anyway,
the
so
way.
I don't really care
Dude,
about
I
the
don't
price
know where he finds
because
them. He scours the internet like crazy. I remember
Nice.
when
Get ready for Grand
the new
Prix
Mario game
with
came
Mushroom
out
Cup,
for £70,
Power Cup, Star Cup,
Yeah.
and I think he
more.
found it on Hot
Grand
UK
Prix
deals.
races are held
There was
all
an
around
offer
the
or a
game's
deal
world. You'll race through 4 different courses
where if
in
you
each
went
cup.
through certain
And for the
places and
top
done
spot.
certain things, you end up getting the game for like £40.
In Mushroom Cup, You'll start off
So we
racing
just
around
got,
Mario
you know,
Brothers
Ow.
circuit.
that's a lot better than
My greatest, I wouldn't call it scam, but my greatest thing ever was, you know, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 came out.
Oh yeah.
For the first
Um,
time,
For some
you'll need to
reason,
drive yourself to
my
the
local
next course in
Sainsbury's on
Grand
day
Prix.
one was selling it for
So
£40.
don't sleep at the wheel.
New. £40 day one new,
And
right,
if
when
you
it first came
conquer
out.
all Grand Prix Cups,
You had to have like a,
rumor
yeah,
has it
like a
that
reward
certain
card.
colorful course will
And
appear.
you could pick up up to 5 copies per person. But
Next up
Game
is a
was
new
offering
mode,
£50 credit
Knockout Tour.
as trading for every
Golden
for
Rally to
for
Ice
Dewey.
Rally
So I
and
bought
more.
what was it? I
These
bought like
extended races take you from one end of
I
the
bought all
world
5,
to the
traded them
other.
all in so I could get 50 quid extra crap.
Get
Nice.
ready for a sprint.
Hey, Devastator, thank you for that
You've
$2
got
super
to
chat.
place if you
Is
wanna
this, is that
stay in
live,
place.
what he's showing there? Or is that just a video? Because we'll
Speed
check out that
towards
video in a
checkpoints
little bit.
throughout the world. If you don't make the cut,
But
you're
that's
out
not
on the
live,
run.
right?
Buckle up. The competition gets more intense as you close in on the checkpoints. You've got to drive to survive.
Gregor,
in
I
Knockout
actually
Tour.
went to
So
Shop
keep
2.
your eyes on the prize
That
and
was my
aim
first
for
point
first
because I think
place.
Shop 2 are by far the best when it comes to pre-orders.
Yeah, and they're just good overall.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, like, when I had problems with my
Items can
other collector's
drastically
editions
change
that I
the
bought from
outcome
them,
of a race.
like the Street Fighter collector's edition, and
Here are
the
some
box
new
came
items that'll
damaged,
help
but everything
you out.
inside was fine. They were really good about it.
When
They
you
sent
throw
me a
coin
new one
shell,
and told me to
coins
keep
will
the old
appear.
one.
Now's your chance to grab them.
You know,
Just don't let
it
your
wasn't even a
rivals
thing. They just said
cash
send
in
us pictures
first.
showing the damage. I did,
Ice
and it was
flower.
authorized the next day.
With the
My
ice
PS5
flower, you
and
can freeze out rivals.
Series
Send
X
them
was
spinning.
also from Shop 2.
Hammer. Aim the hammer in
And
an arc,
what
and
Shop 2 did
nailed it. Hammers
last,
also stay on the course for a
when
short
those
time
two
and
consoles
can be
came out,
used to block off
they
rivals.
actually blocked off.
Mega
I don't know how they did
With
this,
the Mega Mushroom,
but
go big,
I guess
so your
they must have
rivals will go
whitelisted
home.
accounts that could access a certain
Feather.
webpage.
Use the feather
But they
to jump
actually
up
gave you
and avoid
30 minutes in the
attacks.
morning before it became available to the general public
may
for
even
those people
discover
that
some
paid
unexpected routes.
over £200 already up front
With comics
for
magic,
the console
your
at
rivals
wow.
the beginning.
transform.
And they gave you 30 minutes up front
What other
before
mysterious
anyone
events
else
will
could buy
happen?
it to go
You'll have
in,
to see for yourself.
get it, before the
The
website
lower
crashed
your
and
placement,
everything.
the more likely
And
you
that's
are
how I
to find
secured
items
my
that'll turn
PS5 and
the
Series
tables.
X.
So when you get
Nice.
items, go for it.
So they were my first point, but I didn't even realize they had the register of interest available
And
on
if
their
you're new to
website.
the
And by the
Mario
time
Kart
I
series,
realized it was there,
are added support
they said I
features to
wasn't
help you along the
eligible
way.
for the first round of shipments.
I was lucky. I was able to get a PS5. It sold out before I could actually
Smart
pre-order.
steering, which helps you stay on the course.
But my friend was in town and he pre-ordered the digital edition of the PS5 while I was in town. But he had a sister, and his sister thought he was at work, so his sister pre-ordered him a PS5. So I ended up taking one of his PS5s.
Nice.
I paid it, I paid for it, but yeah, I took
How about a quick break?
one of his pre-orders
Snack
because
sounds
he
good
didn't
right
need
about
two.
now. Hey, look, it's
So-
a drive-through. Here at Yoshi's, you can grab
Yeah,
an
this
order
is the
to go.
new ability to unlock costumes as well.
Yeah, that's how you unlock it. You
Take
eat
a
the
bite,
food.
and
Yeah.
you can unlock
I actually think
outfits
this is kinda
inspired
cool,
by
though.
your meal.
Yeah, and once
very
they've
much.
unlocked it, you then have it
some
permanently
sushi
as well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, there was a
Nice
lot of
threads.
food parcels there. You're just gonna stop and just collect
Once
them.
unlocked, these outfits can be selected from the character selection screen.
Mate, did you see that?
Who knows
Which is cool.
what dishes or
Wait,
outfits
what?
you'll find.
Look at all those character and costume availabilities. Each one of these
Yeah,
denotes a character costume, right?
well, each one's a character as well, right? Because all these are all the characters as well.
That's crazy.
Once unlocked, these outfits can be selected.
Yeah, that's why I
from
said
the
that's why I
character
don't like
selection
this
screen.
menu.
Who knows what dishes or outfits you'll find?
It would be nicer if,
Make a
like,
pit stop.
I know a lot of
Check
people
out
complain about it
these
with Dragon Ball,
drive-thrus
but it'd be
all
better if they
around
would
the
have had,
world.
like, you have Mario and
That was a
Mario
nice
Youth,
detour.
I guess. You know,
Now
have two
let's get
Marios,
back to the
but then you
action.
click the Mario, and then once you click the Mario, then it pops up to a second screen with all the different costumes, rather than just having all the
Let's
costumes
introduce
flooded
some
in
new
the one
tricks that'll
screen.
help you ace each race.
It'd be nice if it was filtered like that.
Charge jump. You can now use a charge.
By the way, a lot of
by
those
holding
new
the
items
grip
aren't
button
new
while
as well.
driving
Just a heads
straight
up.
ahead. Charge and release to jump.
Charge jump
Use
isn't
this
new
to
as well. That's
leap
from an
over
old Mario
obstacles.
game.
Grind along power
I mean, the thing
lines.
is Super Mario.
Charge jump was Super Mario Kart from
and
Super
dodge attacks
Nintendo.
from your rivals. And if you jump toward a wall, you can wall ride for a short period of time.
Woo, wall riding.
Chain some tricks together, and you may even reach places like so close. Almost there.
Rip.
Whenever this happens,
Oh yeah,
time
the new
and
time travel
rewind.
mechanic.
This will
What?
return your vehicle to its original position.
Yeah, you fail a jump, you can
Nice,
rewind
made it.
and
Wait,
do it
this
again.
is Need for Speed now?
This can come in handy when mapping out how
With
to
Prince
best
of Persia
approach a
ring?
course. Keep in
But
mind,
also,
though,
it
your
doesn't
rivals
pause
will
it for everyone
still
else, so if you
move normally
do
when
rewind online.
So don't lose your
Yeah.
lead.
Wait, you can actually rewind while you're playing online?
Yes.
Want to take a spin in even more races? In
Why would
time
I wanna
trials,
do that?
It's you against the clock. Here you can race without any other
Because
competitor.
reasons.
And
Yeah,
if
it is
you go
basically a
online,
Forza Horizon
you can download
that I
and
play.
compete
That's why I
against
kind of
ghost data
like
from
it.
racers around the world.
That's why I'm hyped for it. Not gonna lie.
Customize the rules of the road in Versus Race. You can use the classic rule set of running 3 laps within the same course, or you can choose to drive the distance from one course to another. You can even take the road less traveled and choose routes that aren't in Grand Prix or Knockout Tour.
I feel like this direct is way too
Up
long.
to 24 drivers can now compete in
Yeah,
2,
it could have been
3,
shorter.
or even 4 teams. Group up and get ready
Especially
to
the
put
last
the
part.
pedal to the metal.
I don't know, I'm already finding this insanely boring.
Next up, battle mode. Pop off locally or online in
This is an
balloon
old
battle.
this is an
Use
old
items
mode
to
from
burst your rivals' balloons.
Super Mario
Pop
Kart. I
a
don't know if
ball
it's
in
in the
your
other
rivals'
ones.
out.
I
But I
remember
remember
this.
Battle
And
Mode.
Coin runners,
Yeah.
where you can go for the gold by collecting the most coins. Race or battle, enjoy whatever drives you.
Coin runners, or as we like to call it, the normal mode back in the day. Yeah, look at him. Look at Mario with his beer.
When you're not racing, you can enjoy free roam and go wherever your heart takes you.
Now this is why I think this is cool. You might be sleeping. Chaos is sleeping right now, everyone, but I think this is
I'm
cool.
not.
See the seas.
I'm going though.
Drive the desert.
I don't know, this just doesn't entertain me.
Or jump off from way up here. You can go wherever you like.
I was more
even
interested
to
in the
edges
bloody
of the
Zelda
world.
thing that they showed.
Hey,
There was something that they
P-switch over
did
there.
in that Zelda reveal for the Switch 2 that I think
Hit
Nintendo
hundreds
is
of
going,
P-switches you find
if they're
across the world
smart,
to start missions.
they will actually utilize more.
By completing
And where people
You've
were
linked it
looking
to your
for
phone, right? And then
Yeah.
your phone can use to repair stuff daily.
But well, not just that alone, but
There are
just there's
also hidden
so many
coins.
possibilities that they can do. There's actually stuff that's in game that you can now find, and when you do
panels
find it, your
and
phone
more.
actually starts
So take the
playing the
scenic route
lore
and explore.
information.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll show you in a second.
Also,
And I think it's so
during
damn
free
cool.
roam, you can take photos
Hey, it's
whenever
G-pose.
you like. Strike a pose. Look at the camera. Choose a frame to decorate, and nice. That one's a winner.
Yeah, sure.
Post-apocalypse Waluigi.
If one person
Wow.
has Mario Kart World, up to 4 players.
Yeah, by the way, I like the
race
fact they
in
can share
split
this with up to
screen
4
on the
people.
Same system.
On the same
The
system.
game also supports local wireless
No, but I think it
play.
also has off.
Up to 8 players with up to
Yeah.
2 players
I don't know if
on
it
each
has
system
game share as well.
race together this way. And up to 24 players from around the world can join a
Let's
race
go.
or battle in online play.
Yeah, I like this because they think everyone's gonna. Did anyone see that meme of how Nintendo sees
Yeah.
and then what reality is.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen. You're like, you bloody asshole! I'm gonna get you back and fucking.
I mean, if you can work out what's even happening on screen because of how bad it is anyway.
Yeah, you could
Look
Infinite.
like free roam, but this is where you'll wait while your friends join you. Looks like someone's arrived. Yep, you can meet up with your crew anywhere in this world. By checking the map, you can quickly see where your friends are and travel to their location.
Just like Forza Horizon. Probably.
Battle or race with custom rules. Or just go for a ride together. Make this road trip your own.
You know what would have made this really cool?
You can
If
also
you could
take
get off your
photos
vehicle.
together along the way, if that's more
I don't
your
know why,
speed.
but I think that would have been unique.
Here we go. Here's the bit you're looking forward to in game chat, right? This is the
Enjoy
feature
an
you're all excited for the most.
experience by talking online with friends. Use the
Yeah, you see, none of them
built-in
decided to
voice
buy
chat
the
while driving
480p
together.
camera.
Oh no, wait. There it now it's the 480p camera.
Oh my god, look at that frame rate that they're running at. Why?
And watch each other's game screen.
Why did they think this was a good idea to promote?
If you have a Nintendo Switch 2 camera,
Yeah.
you
You have
can
one.
enjoy seeing your friends' reactions while playing together.
No.
Yeah, you'd love to. No.
Who's close by?
Nobody's gonna be smiling like that. That should be
Wait,
screaming.
who just passed me? You'll be able to tell in an instant. Hey, Michelle, and
You.
Why does George look like he's gonna murder us all?
And no, all I'm
when playing
envisioning
together
George
in
going,
person on the
you
same system,
scumbag,
a
scallywag,
single
son of
camera
a.
can detect up to 4 people's faces.
No.
Enjoy the view and get ready to face off with your friends.
Wait, did I just notice how offensive that camera was just a second ago, just till now?
What do you mean?
Can you go back to that camera?
Which part?
The bit where they like that you can have up to 4 faces. Okay, never mind. It's not that bad. Okay.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, I just realised, are those? Have they even not even got real? I just realised they're not even real people, are they?
Oh, those are.
Are you sure they don't? They look like really bad 3D polygon
That's
versions
what
of
Nintendo
real
wants
people.
You to believe.
Okay.
That's terrible, Ghosty. Hopefully, if United lose, then Ruben Amorim will be gone. He's not the guy to lead United.
Woohoo!
I think Connect was better than this.
The PSI was better than this.
Race around the world is just around
And that
the
was
corner
bad.
in Mario Kart World, available exclusively on Nintendo
I think the
Switch
PSI had
2.
about the same
A hardware
resolution.
bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World will also be available.
Limited products only. I don't know, man. That just looked so weird. Where's the Zelda one? Is this the... No. The Digital Foundry one was really cool. Did you see the Digital Foundry comparison?
No.
It's really good. The Digital Foundry comparison between Switch 1 and... Yeah. The Legend of Zelda games, Switch 2 editions versus the original Switch 1. This is phenomenal.
Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will both have Nintendo Switch 2 editions.
Can someone tell me how anyone thought that
Jump
this was
back
going
into
to be
the
a good idea?
adventure, now with enhanced resolution and frame rates.
What was a good
Both
idea?
Support HDR, which
Haven't you
makes the
realized what
image
this is
more
yet?
vibrant, and they have smoother, higher definition graphics.
The remaster?
Plus, the load times when warping are
It's a
much
patch.
faster, helping you
What do you
explore
mean?
Hyrule with ease.
Who in Digital Foundry is talking right now?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. No one.
If you already own the
Ah.
Nintendo Switch games, your save data can be carried over.
They took the ad and re-uploaded it.
On top of that, you can now
Wow.
create 2 manual
That is their
save data
Switch 2
files,
edition
so
versus
feel free to start
original
a new
Switch.
game without worrying about losing your old data. And introducing
Wow.
Zelda Notes,
They literally done
a
that.
new feature that can help you get
And look at the
even more
like to
adventures
look at the
in
like to
Hyrule.
dislike ratio.
It's a game-specific service
yeah.
exclusive to the
18,000
Nintendo Switch 2 editions
dislike.
of both games, found within the Nintendo Switch app for smart devices.
Yeah,
It's
they were
designed
paid to
provide
advertise it.
a more streamlined
Devastator.
gameplay experience.
I do think that the Switch
Let's
app
go
here,
over some of the
right?
new features you'll find
This is the
in
only
Zelda
cool
Notes.
thing I think Nintendo is doing right now with the Switch 2. I actually really am a fan of this.
Sometimes it can be tough to locate
I mean,
shrines
this
you
is
haven't
basically
cleared
just the
or
Destiny
Koroks
app,
hiding
right?
around Hyrule.
No, it's beyond.
That's where navigation comes in handy.
It actually tells voice activated. It tells you where to go.
Guidance activating. Proceed.
There's a GPS system.
Yeah, for anything you
It'll
want in the
provide
game.
a helpful voiced guide.
And
Your
you can see it
destination
tracks
is
you
north of here
real
and
time
close.
in game as well. Once
Your
you've connected it,
destination is above.
it tells you where it is exactly.
Your destination is nearby. You have reached.
I
your
mean, the issue.
destination.
My only issue is the fact that it's
Guidance
such a generic
deactivating.
voice. Like, I would love it was just
Give it a
like.
try as you search for all sorts of things.
But then you wouldn't understand it.
When you
I think
visit
this is really
certain
cool as well,
places,
this bit
You
here.
can hear voice memories.
My study. I found a silent princess in a corner of this desolate room. How many...
These are stories that weren't in the original game.
Yeah, as Gregor said, it's the Wii U features
Voice
brought to
memories
life. This
can
is
be
stuff that they
located
planned for the
using
Wii U.
navigation.
Your
They
destination
scrapped,
is
and they're like, oh, we can use it, do it now with the phone.
Yeah, but I think this is cool, and I think that it opens up a whole new kind of era of possibility of what they can
in The
do
Legend of Zelda Tears of the
by
Kingdom,
combining your
you won't
phone
just hear
with
stories
the
from
actual
Princess
hardware.
Zelda.
This altar is
And I think
considered the
Nintendo and
most
Microsoft
holy
may look
place
at
in
this
the
and
temple.
decide, hey, maybe this is
You
something
can
that
look
we can do
forward
as
to
well.
hearing stories
Because
from
this
2
isn't
other
proprietary,
characters as
you know,
well.
technology. They could theoretically do something very similar to this in their games as well. But
In The
this
Legend
feature,
of
like
Zelda
this
Tears
feature
of
here,
the
for
Kingdom,
example,
you can freely create your own vehicles
I was
and
actually
weapons.
asking for this during the Switch 1.
But have you ever wanted to share your creations?
I don't care about sharing it. It's what you can do with the shared stuff.
With
That's
auto
important.
build
That's cool.
sharing, you can create QR codes to share blueprints with others, even on social media.
The Steam Workshop, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
When receiving a QR code, you can scan it with Zelda Notes and use materials to auto-build the creation in your game.
That's
All I'm
cool,
going
right?
to say is there's going to be so many mail junks.
And you can
Another
share your,
thing
you can actually do
with
item
QR
sharing as well.
codes is gift in-game items to other players. For example, when gifting a sword or some meat, you can receive a QR code.
Okay.
Then another player can receive it in their game via Zelda Notes.
And so I can literally send, if I've got something that is really powerful that I don't need, I can send it to you without
Yay.
us having to be anywhere near each other.
With
Well, it's like any item shit's just going to
you
be
can
full of
edit
hat
photos
items.
taken in-game.
Yeah, that's.
By sending your
But you
pics
get,
to Zelda
I mean,
Notes.
I know people are going to abuse it. I'm
You
just
can
saying
crop
that
them.
the principle there is good.
And decorate them with stamps.
I think they are really taking
Or
this
add a
mobile
QR
app
code
thing
to share your creations.
to the next level.
My Play data keeps track of different records since your adventures began, such as the number of enemies you've defeated.
I bought Breath of the
You can
Wild and
even
stuff,
earn
but I never
medals
played
based
it.
on your records.
I just think this is really cool.
Aim for new
I
medals
really
and
like
goals,
the mobile
like
companion.
total distance traveled or rupees collected. With global play data, you can see where your records rank within the global community. On top of comparing your data with other players around the world, you can also see your gameplay trends. Once per day, you can spin for a daily bonus. You'll be granted whichever in-game effect it lands on for the day, so give it a try. Good luck.
Gotchas!
Hey, look, don't be jelly about the
figures
gacha.
can be used to receive in-game items. Zelda Notes keeps track of
This
each
is
amiibo
cool.
you scan. When you scan an amiibo 5 times, you'll get an additional bonus use of that amiibo that you could normally only scan once per day. Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of
For
Zelda
$20.
Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch 2 editions. If
For
you
free with
already own
Nintendo
the
Switch
Switch
Online.
games, you can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 editions by purchasing upgrade packs.
Just
Or
take the
access
QR
the
code
upgrade
up
packs
their
at no
arse.
additional cost with a paid Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack membership. Plus, these new amiibo figures will also be available. If you scan them in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you might receive a paraglider fabric.
Might receive.
I know, I noticed that as well. The way. Oh, has anyone seen this yet?
Start with something entertaining.
Has anyone seen the Skeletor thing yet?
No. And then I'm gonna go.
No worries. This is really short. This is really good.
Yeah.
I like this.
We here at Nintendo are excited to announce the next step in our company's challenge to cripple your
Just look at what the Skeletor's job title is.
We here at Nintendo are excited to announce the next step in our company's challenge to cripple your bank accounts. We're overflowing with pre-cum and enthusiasm to reveal our brand new piggy bank. I mean the Nintendo Switch 2, our little bukkake of innovation. Games, we've got that. Hardware, we've got that. A moral compass, now let's not get crazy here, but what we do have is the
Games,
ability to
we've
play
got
catch
that.
up with our competitors and strike whilst the iron is frozen. Because I'm delighted to share with all of you our revolutionary new feature, Group Chat.
Group chat!
Wait till I fart. This is the future. Please, take a look.
Take a look, everyone.
We here at Nintendo are proud to showcase Game Chat, our brand new party feature, which will allow you to do what our
15
competition has been
frames
doing
a
for the last
second.
2 decades. Here you'll be able to have amazing conversations with your friends.
Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt. You're boring. You don't sound like you.
Wow,
Such
the
friendship.
memories that will be made. You can even connect one of our colonoscopy cameras to the Switch 2, allowing you to FaceTime
You fat little.
with your friends.
Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little cunt. You're boring. You don't sound like you.
Wow, the memories.
Look
that
at the
will be
name.
made.
Look at the
You can
names.
even connect one of our colonoscopy cameras to the Switch 2, allowing you to FaceTime your friends like it's a Zoom call during COVID.
I used to nut in my socks until the crust smelled sweet.
You can even share your game screen up to 360p and 5 frames per century. We've designed it this way to ensure that every
frames.
stream will have the video quality of an ISIS beheading. Now you might say to yourself, why the fuck would I pay for any of this shit when Discord exists? The Switch 2 might seem overwhelming to you peasants with all these groundbreaking advancements. That's why we're including a tech demo which will showcase key information. We're really hoping that... Wait a fucking... Paid tech demo? What? Guys!
$10!
A paid tech demo in the year 2025? What? But Astro... Oh, okay, I'm reading the prompt, fucking hell. We've got Mario Kart World with new upgrades and features, such as adding your mother to the roster. We've got Wheelchair Rocket League. We've got Silksong. Anyway, Donkey Kong is back, baby! All these great games and more can be yours for the low, low price of your left kidney. We're starting at $80 for the digital version and
$80?
$90 for the physical. That's right. We're charging you $10 extra for a fucking plastic case. GTA 6 will now cost more than $100 because we've opened Pandora's box for nothing more than shits and giggles. What's that? You want to play your older games? Go fuck yourself. We're holding your games hostage unless you pay our ransom for an upgrade pack. And do not worry, we have no desire to let these games ever go on sale. Breath of the Wild is still $60, and that game came out 8 years ago. We don't fucking care, because like a moth to a flame, you'll buy it anyway. And if not from us, from scalpers. The Nintendo Bait and Switch 2. Thank you for watching, and go fuck yourself.
Thanks,
We're
Skeletor.
going to make so much money.
I couldn't help but notice that you're a bitch.
Hey man, how did you get here? We're in the Nintendo Void, for God's sake.
Now don't change the subject. You're charging $90 for Mario Kart.
That's the physical version, actually.
You know, you're making EA and Ubisoft look like Make-A-Wish right now. Do you honestly think your audience will pay for your games if just buying one costs a fifth of the console itself?
Of course they will!
Look, just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
I'm sure our audience are completely fine with it. And who cares? Pre-orders are out, and people are buying it like it's crap.
Yes, look!
Who just blame inflation or some shit for the increased prices? We can't lose! Do you know how much money we'll make in America alone?
You might actually have a problem with that.
What?
Do the Mario swing your arms.
Yeah, hang on a second, I gotta take this. Go for Papa Skeletor. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nah? What do you mean the pre-orders are off? What tariffs? Oh! Okay, so what's left? Now you me? Where's Miyamoto? What do you mean
Well, have fun with all of that.
What do you mean the camera struggles to pick up melanin? What do you mean? Oh, God damn it!
That was good. Oh, that was brilliant. I really like that. I really like this guy. I'm gonna put a link in the. You guys should follow him. He's really freaking good, man. Chille, I know you need to drop now, so if you wanna plug yourself before you leave.
Well, I'll give myself a shout out. I think that'll get you banned on YouTube, but yeah, I'm Chille, one half of Mugwort on Radio. We're about to do episode 211 of the podcast. It'll be the 9th anniversary in tonight, which is in 30 minutes of the podcast. So it's our 9th anniversary. We've got Super Lewis 64 on the show. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
The controller guy, right?
Yeah, the controller guy. Makes cool different controllers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, remember you can find me on YouTube at Hollified Saying Gaming, where we're currently at 166 subscribers, and it's been I've been having a lot of fun. Today's video got delayed till tomorrow because I was up all night trying to edit the video together because one of the fights was frustrating the hell out of me in the story mode. And so it was taking me forever to beat the fight, so I had to cut had to cut and like add me actually beating the fight into the video, so the video wasn't a bajillion hours long. So I spent all night editing that, and it was going to go live today, and then the Dragon Ball stuff leaked, so I realised that should probably come first. So that video will be tomorrow. But today's video, yeah, I got the Dragon Ball stuff. Again, thank you to Chaos for the support as always. I still need to use those stuff that you helped me with. That I'm not going to say on here, of course. But I still need to set that up at some point. But yeah, big shout out to Chaos as always. No, Bullets, there's still 20 minutes of me losing. I just didn't think that it'd be a good idea for me to be an hour of me losing. I just didn't think that'd be good video footage of just me losing for 45 minutes. I felt like 25 minutes was enough. Trust me, by the time I got... Okay, the fight is really annoying, and it's the Kenpachi versus Tosen fight, Bullets. For anyone... I don't know if you've ever watched Bleach. Chaos.
Little bits, not overly.
Okay. During that fight, Kenpachi realizes the only way that he can actually win the fight is him letting himself get stabbed.
Just switch to
Because Tosen's Bankai has the ability to nullify all your senses. So you've got no sense of smell, hearing, feeling, and all your senses are blocked with his Bankai. So he realized that the only way you can actually know where he is by actually, you have to touch his sword. If you touch his sword gives the user the senses. So Kenpachi realized the only way to actually fight back was allow him to get stabbed, so he can then slice back. Well, in the game, the boss also uses the Bankai, and basically everything on the screen is completely invisible, except for your character and a circle around you. And then you have to try and counter him every time he tries to jump in occasionally. It was just so frustrating. Like, it was,
Wait, I should have finished well.
Anyway, thank you as always for having me on. I always enjoy this. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Big shout out to everyone in chat as always. Thank you as always for the love. You're not wrong, but it's skill issue.
Yeah, but they're trying to blame me.
No.
They're trying to say me. They're trying to say I'm bad at it, and that's the reason why it's thing.
Anyway, thank you all as always for the support. Thank you everyone for the love in chat, and as always, thank you Chaos for having me on. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. I'll probably be lurking in chat for a little bit, but yeah, have a good rest of your night.
You too, buddy. And thanks for hanging out tonight.
Thank you for having me on. And thank you everyone. If you're watching right now, and if you're watching the VOD, please hit the like and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, and drop a membership while you're at it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching the VOD, well, I guess you can still do memberships, right?
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Because this video is getting
Anyway,
demonetized.
thank you, everyone.
Hell, after it gets released. Nobody's going to get demonetized like there's no tomorrow.
Goodbye, everyone.
Take it easy, Chille. Alright. Before we get on to the DCG video, thank you again for the super chat. Devastator, I did see it. Assassin's Creed has hit over 40 million players in both Origins and Odyssey. I don't. It's good, right? Now losing 4-2 in extra time. What a disappointment. But that's crazy. 40 million. But do you know what? I think a lot of, some of this is attributed to the Ubisoft Play. Or Plus, whatever it's called. And this just shows you how these subscription services, despite the fact that people really look down upon them and hate them, they're just such a good way to get more people gaming who aren't really, who aren't fortunate enough to be able to afford paying £50 to £70 for a game. They can sign up to whatever it is for a subscription and just game where they need to, or just game for a month on a certain price point and continue. I think that's really, really good. And it's a really good showing. So, I genuinely believe that subscriptions have a place in the gaming market right now. I know a lot of people say that they don't, but I really feel like subscription services are enabling more people to game right now than they could do before. And the fact that people think this is bad and horrible, and sure, what's this on my head phase? It's my pirate getup. My tricorn hasn't arrived yet, so I'm using a pirate bandana. Every 5 gifted subs, I wear this. But I saw someone in chat earlier today, just before I started, saying that they missed the pirate getup. So, I put it on. And yeah. Appreciate it. What do people think about what Asmund said here? Did anyone see this clip? And what's your thoughts on it? Did Asmund go too far again? The only problem with subscription services gaming, the only thing that I find in particular, is that everything is a sub. So it adds up very quickly and gets very expensive, right? You got Amazon Prime, you got Disney Plus, Netflix, Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus, and there's more, right? It starts to add up quite quickly. Before you know it, you're paying like over £100 a month just on subscriptions to media content. That is the only negative that I see. Although Amazon I abuse like crazy with the next day delivery. So, hey, Digital Devin. But yeah, did anyone see this? I'm gonna play it. It is a bit questionable as to what he's saying. I don't personally agree with it. It's especially when it comes to a first-person shooter. But this is what Asmund had to say.
I think that pretty much every single circumstance, it's always a bad idea to make characters that are not conventionally attractive. Because this is, again, this is a shooter game, and shooter games are going to be primarily played by men. So if you're making a shooter game that's primarily made for men, then you should make sure that all of the female characters in the game are fuckable. And I know this might sound crazy to say, but I'm just going to say it. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. Because that's what people want to do. That's what girls will cosplay. Girls don't want to cosplay ugly, weird-looking, androgynous, creepy characters. And all of that, like, think about how much advertising Marvel Rivals gets because of how many girls try to cosplay the characters. I think...
Thank you for the new membership, Digital Devil Sin. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll be around tomorrow as we're playing Fall Guys in the members stream tomorrow. So feel free to stop by and join in on the fun. But yeah, what do you guys think of this? Marvel Rivals is a third-person game. This game is first-person. You're not actually seeing your character in any way, shape, or form. You don't think he's wrong? Games in general are primarily played by men. Yeah, but does every single female character need to be overly sexualized? See, I agree with what Gregor said more. I think Gregor hit the nail on the head. I don't know, I get the cosplay community. But is it essential for a game to be good? So why isn't anyone cosplaying the characters from the First Descendant? That seems to be like an easy option there, right? I mean, exactly, Gregor, but the cosplayers know that if they dress up like a nun, only those with a nun fetish are going to want to look at it. If they dress up as something truly attractive, then it's going to attract more attention, more views, more clicks, more gooners. So, you know, there is a direct correlation between having attractive characters and, you know, the game doing better than it would do before. For example, if you look at just fan art of games, right? If a game has a lot of fan art, I'm not even talking about R34, just general fan art for the game. In general, that game you will expect to do way better than other games that doesn't have any. For example, Genshin Impact has a lot of fan art, and it's really successful. Wuthering Waves has a good amount of fan art. Its mod is very successful. Something like Tower of Fantasy has almost no fan art whatsoever, and that game is not successful. I enjoy it, but the reality is it's just nowhere near the success it needs to be. And there is a direct correlation between, you know, that sort of thing in gaming. And obviously, in order for people to create a fan art, those characters have to look attractive. But does it need to be at the state where they're just running around in a thong or a bikini? Which is essentially what is being stipulated here. They want them to be running around in the least amount of clothing humanly possible that's acceptable, and that is where the likes of what Asmongold is saying, what Grums and everyone else is saying, you know, like the Smash JT, will be happy with. And I just don't think that it needs to cross into that realm. You can have attractive characters or mid-tier characters that are still good looking. Having ugly characters is just not the way to go. It's going to just piss people off, especially in 2025. But it also doesn't have to be unrealistically silly. I guess, I mean, it depends on the game, but you get what I'm... That's where I'm coming from. And Blue Archive is quite successful, is it not, Brick? Me doing bunny cosplay? I tell you what, Tarnished, I'll wear bunny ears if we hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year. Jesus, gaming, either you're making this up or this is one hell of a game. You have seen those zombie finance. But yeah, you know, so there is a direct correlation. I'm not disputing that at all. I think the way he portrayed it was just really bad. And I know he has a tendency just to blurt out everything and just speak it, but I think there is like there's a decorum there that kind of needs to be met. And I feel like with someone who has a platform like he does, it ain't right. I know that Frost character that came out in Marvel Rivals, everyone was going crazy over her. But in Marvel Rivals, you get to see the character as well. In a game like Marathon, you barely see the characters at all. Why does it matter in a game like Marathon? Like in a game, and this is directly targeted towards Marathon. Why does it matter for Marathon? I mean, are there drop-dead gorgeous women in Tarkov? Is Tarkov doing really bad because of digital? But you see where I'm coming from. I think with certain games, I agree, he has a point. But with games like Marathon, I just don't agree with what he's saying. I think what he's saying is just not right. It's not correct at all. It is very game dependent. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. I saw it, was it today or yesterday? And I thought I'd just bring it up because I don't know. It just But even then, how long do people stay in there? I mean, which one of the Guardians in Destiny are attractive? Why isn't he attacking Destiny? Devin, if you was in a game, in an Xbox game... Yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I'm going to be nice today. I think I've been mean enough to Steve as it is today. Especially with him and Baptista being Marcus Phoenix. Apparently, the split screen in Mario Kart will be 30 FPS. Oof. Yeah, I think it was just weird. I think it was a bad take. Don't get me wrong. You know, I get it. Like, if you look at the gacha games, no one's gonna... I mean, if anyone in here plays gacha games... How did that character do in Nikkei? The one that cooks and eats a lot. You said? Can you fill that, please? And put some ice as well. Hmm. You don't have school tomorrow, so I don't care if you stay up longer. Well, it's not up to 7, John. So I'm okay with you staying up. Just a drink with some ice in it, please. Yeah, that's the one, Chille. Yeah, but you don't get to see them, Brick. So what does it matter? I mean, I picked a female character too. In fact, I tried to create Harley Quinn with my character. And for some of it, I succeeded. But it still didn't... She didn't look great. Her revenue's not out yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. Okay, so here's the one that Devastator wanted us to check out. Nintendo is freaking out over Switch 2 hate. I don't think they are. I think they're counting the money at everything being sold out, right? I don't know. I actually think her design is fine. You know. I saw nothing wrong with her design. I know a lot of people were hating on the design because she's big. But it'll be interesting to see how the revenue reacts to it. The sexier the character in the gacha game, the more I spend. So, Digital, what gacha games do you play? United 154. Nice. His target is changed? Yeah, he's been going after Nintendo like crazy. And the more he goes after them, the bigger his creators get. But anyway, let's check this video out. Nintendo is freaking out. Mate, I still don't get how he has 244k subs and I've only got 7,000 subs. I should have way more. I'm way more entertaining. I'm a better news reporter. And I play games better too. And I've never lied to you guys. Right? Minecraft literally has no one playing it.
Is just hated, and honestly the hate continues to get worse. But today I want to talk about the fact that over the course of the last 24 hours, we've seen multiple stories come out from major people basically talking about how, obviously...
Steve, he had to finish at 10:30. He's got something else that he needs to get ready for 11 o'clock. Oh, is it? Nice.
Disastrous the launch is.
I don't get lost in a straight maze.
Because, I mean, we still haven't heard the final price, but there is discussions that, honestly, the Nintendo Switch 2 is very likely going to cost $600 or $700 in the United States. We're going to take a look at the sources on that, but I also want to talk about the fact that
I've also noticed that he's changed his backdrop. Now he's got his back to the TV. I think that's a cool thing. Basically, the setup that he's got in the background, what I want to do when I move, if I've got a separate room for myself for a study, I want to have all my figurines out and stuff like that. So that's what I'm planning.
Big executives and stuff are starting to say we're now officially in the lazy era of Nintendo. And today, one of the inspirations for this is that one of the biggest, most unbiased content creators, a group that I think is so respected, is Digital Foundry. They're pixel counting maniacs who are able to hyper analyze frame rates and stuff. They're doing sponsored Nintendo content, and their fans are pissed. They're literally being paid to advertise. They're
Okay, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask that. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to give me a straight answer. Now, some of these paid sponsorships are in the tens of thousands, right? And especially with a channel like Digital Foundry, who has over 1 million subs, Nintendo probably would have paid somewhere around $15,000, $20,000, or even $25,000 in order to put that ad onto their channel. Would you say no to that? I know a lot of people are going after Digital Foundry right now, and what Digital Foundry did is really uncharacteristic. But if someone came along and said, can you upload this 7-minute ad on your channel, and we will give you 25 grand, would you say no? No, but would you say no? That's my question. I mean, let's be devil's advocate, say 15k then. It's still 15k for literally no effort. And they've put the word ad next to it as well. Sponsored was what they had originally. They're not trying to mislead you. It is an ad. They've put that. Give me 25k and I'll tell you what you want. But this is the point I'm making. Like, a lot of these people are looking at this and saying, well, how could they do this? Mate, it's business. These channels operate, on a financial return. So, at the end of the day, they've been offered a sack of money. They're going to take it. So, I don't begrudge them for making 15, 20 grand for 10 minutes of work. Who would turn down that much money for 10 minutes of work? So, no, I don't agree with this. I still think it was wrong, morally, what they did. But unless you're like a millionaire, who's going to turn down 20 grand for 5 minutes of work?
Commercials saying be sure to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, and their fans are pissed. But let's talk about all of that. I hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe.
They did disclose it in the title.
If you haven't already. Now, I wanted to start with some headlines that I haven't had a chance to put in previous videos, but this is one of them I found to be incredibly fascinating personally. But this is Shuhei Yoshida, one of the founding members of PlayStation, and not only was he at there for decades and decades and decades, but his insights kind of into current day gaming to me are intriguing, because not only did he face against Xbox and Sega and Nintendo during the console wars, but I've always thought that he definitely is a gamer. He has a respect for good gameplay and good design, and basically said Nintendo is losing their identity He said Nintendo used to focus on new experiences, and now they just say this is just a better platform. And I think this is an interesting observation because, yes, classically, Nintendo did do something that other people didn't have the guts to do, which is that they would innovate. They would actually just invent completely new stuff. If you are playing the Nintendo, you go to the Super Nintendo. Now you've got shoulder buttons going from the GameCube to the Wii. Now you've got the first motion controls. It is weird to consider the fact that going from the Switch to the Switch 2, it's the exact same system with more horsepower.
But isn't that what people wanted? Isn't that what people wanted, right? People wanted a better Switch 2. A better Switch. People didn't want them to change what the Switch was. They just wanted a better Switch. And so that's what Nintendo delivered. With minor innovation. You know, the screen is still pretty cool, offering VRR in handheld mode. 120Hz display. You've got the mouse for the Joy-Con, and on top of that, now you've got mobile integration, which is something that the original Switch didn't do. So it's not exactly just a bump in specs. It is doing little bits and bobs on the other side, but it's not the revolutionary innovation that Nintendo is known for. But that's not what the community was asking for. The community was asking for a better Switch. So Nintendo said, okay, we'll give you a better Switch. I don't get it. I get that, Woodpip, but I think in this situation, this is exactly what the Nintendo fandom wanted. Right? I think this is exactly what the Nintendo fandom wanted. They just wanted to be able to play their games on their Switch at 60 FPS. And that's exactly what they're getting. So, on this occasion, yes, they didn't have that huge innovation leap that Nintendo is known for, but they did have minor things that they've added to the Switch, in my opinion, that has helped and makes it differentiate from what the previous predecessor was. They were by cardboard. Yeah, my kid bought that. Yeah. Building it was a bitch, but you know, I was one of the people that actually bought into that Infinite because my kids would not stop with wanting it.
The reason I find this to be so strange is that, think about this. The 3DS. The 3DS is still, in my opinion, the most mind-blowing thing that has ever been invented in gaming. A two-screen system that not only had tons of RPGs and interesting platformers and crazy puzzle games, only Nintendo could have sold that, and they sold it perfectly. They made tens of billions of dollars off that. Modern day Nintendo is now literally bragging about how boring the Switch 2 is.
If they make the Switch 2 dual screen and called it Nintendo Switch DS, right? That's going to be a $700 or $600 machine. Then people are going to cry, oh, it's too expensive. You can't win. Hey, Bullets, we don't need to go into that. All I need to say is that you wasn't here to see what happened. And so I've got plausible deniability. And I am going to use my plausible deniability and say no. And there is no way you can prove that otherwise. My plausible deniability allows me to say no. Now, of course it should have, Steve, but the OLED is going to be in 2 years where they can charge $100 more. I'm still... Actually, I found my Vita the other day, last week I think it was, Devil, and I'm actually playing 13th Birthday on there at the moment. And what's crazy is that my battery life on my Vita lasts, in standby mode, lasts over a week, still in its current... And I've got the original launch Vita, the OLED, the P1000 edition, and my battery still lasts a week in standby mode with the game loaded in background, and my Steam Deck doesn't last 2 days in standby. That little piece of hardware was a technological marvel. It's just a shame that Sony did what they always do and not supported it and let it die. Dual screen laptops, yeah, they're so expensive. Dragon Crown was another good one, yeah.
They did an interview exactly 2 weeks ago where they straight up said, yeah, we specifically wanted to not make anything unique. We wanted this to be the safest, most boring, bare bones system. I almost feel like this is part of the reason people are perhaps more critical of the Switch 2 than some people probably would have predicted. I do think that a lot of it comes down to the fact that there's not that interesting change. Typically, if you're seeing it, it's like...
Okay, so what was the interesting change between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro? Or from the PS4 Pro to the PS5? What was the interesting change outside of graphics? The controller was a nice, interesting change. That's it. Was there anything else that was a technological leap between the PS4 and the 5? Or the Xbox One to the Series X? That's one game I've always wanted to play, Groggle. Over in Mecca. Baptista disagrees with you, Steve. Do you really think he has a girlfriend? Apparently, the money that was donated to him to fix his teeth, he's now using for his marriage fund. He's paying for his wedding with that money. But, with Xbox, you got Quick Resume, which is phenomenal. But is it really that big of a technological... The point I'm making here, that these advancements are subtle. So why does Nintendo... I'm not defending Nintendo. I'm just saying, why is it that Nintendo has to go above and beyond every console? I know they're known for their innovation and the way they push the industry in their weird and wonderful way. But why is it when other platforms aren't really doing anything that's revolutionary, but Nintendo, playing it safe like everyone else did, is now the bad guy? Yeah, I didn't donate to his GoFundMe. I just didn't feel like it was right. Look, all I'm saying is, if I was in his position, making, and you know, if my videos were popping off, getting 10, 15, 20,000 views at a time, and I knew that that was happening to me, and I needed to go and make sure that I needed to have that surgery, I would have made sure that my health comes first, and I, you know, sort myself out. I put money aside, save up for it, and get it done. There's no way that anyone's going to tell me that he did not make enough money to get that done himself. He clearly did, and chose to not care about it, and he got very lucky that the community decided to give him the money. I just wasn't prepared to do that. Don't get me wrong, Infinite. I think the Switch Pro would have made a lot more sense. Because technically what we have here is the Switch Pro, right? It's not really a Switch 2. It's a Switch Pro. It's more advanced, but the Switch 2 gives them the opportunity to recharge you for the same games again. That's what I said. Essentially, is that it is it is better than the, and you know, it is offering more, but you know, I've never downvoted his video ever, right? And I've always said that everything he says is a hustle, right? I don't think I don't believe for a second that half the shit he says he believes, but he's saying it and playing that role because it gets him the views and the clicks. And, you know, he's chasing the algorithm. The algorithm tells him to shit on Nintendo's right now. So he is. You know, crapping on Xbox at the moment just doesn't, you know, you might get the PlayStation fanboys cheering and jeering him on, and you'll get people hate watching him from the Xbox side, but the algorithm is now basically telling him that Xbox isn't in this fight anymore. Xbox is multi-plat. Xbox is in a weird way, right? Weird position, because they're both they're not full third-party multi-plat, because they still have a platform, which is the Xbox console, and they're going to have another one coming soon in the next couple of years. So they're in a weird position where they're both first party and multi-plat at the same time. And so it's a little different for Xbox. But at the same time, they're not in the fight anymore. And because of that, I don't think, you know, the algorithm is feeding him the same way it was. That's why he's turned to Nintendo. And that's why you're seeing a lot of rage bait videos from Nintendo from him. Well, Devin, and the fact that you became a member means that you can see that I'm not a grifter.
Like, wow, here's that cool new innovation. It's worth that high price tag because this is the Nintendo-only experience. Whereas now people are saying, okay, I've already got hundreds of games in my backlog for my Nintendo Switch original. Am I really going to buy an upgraded system that's the exact same thing, but, you know, 10% better for 8 times the freaking cost? No, absolutely not. I do find it interesting that when you actually click any Nintendo tweets, this is a Nintendo of America tweet from last night where they're talking about the upgrade Switch 2 editions of Zelda, and 100% of the comments are pissed.
Can you guys hear
How
my
about
cat?
dropping that price? How about drop?
Oreo? Oh, don't you leave me hanging. Oreo. Oh, now he leaves me hanging.
That pre.
Oh, there you go.
Dates. It's crazy that they're hyping up these 2 Zelda games from years ago. These editions, by the way, they specifically mentioned the fact that these do not have the DLC included. These are extremely expensive, $80 editions with absolutely nothing. If anything, they're worse than the Nintendo Switch versions, but I do find it interesting that any amount of this...
So how is the Switch 2 edition, which runs at 60 FPS, worse than the thing? I mean, they're more expensive. So I guess on price point, they're worse. But performance-wise, how are they worse? Mike the Cat, he'll murder me. Mifulian, I actually imported my Dreamcast from Japan when it came out in '98, I think, when I was still in secondary school. Long time. I remember taking the VMU to school. I was like the coolest kid for like 2-3 days. Everyone was like, man, what the hell is that he's got? Almost got thrown out of my exam at the time because I was using it as a clock. Because why not? And my teachers actually thought I had notes saved on there, and they were examining it and stuff, seeing if I was cheating. Good time. I think the Japanese one was released in 98, no? Because I got the orange box edition. Was it $99.99 for Japan? Okay, then. Because I had the orange box edition version. The one with the CEO signature.
Pushback. The price tags are also enhanced. I think it's interesting because typically when it came to Nintendo, and especially Nintendo fans, I feel like Nintendo has always done something very smart that the other industry aspects have not done as well, which is that, let's face it, Nintendo exists for a profit, the same way that Square Enix does and Capcom does, but typically the way you would make the most profit is by making the best games or making it so that people are excited for the next Splatoon or the next piece of DLC. You try to get people so excited that not only are they going to buy the next game, but they'll share that love with other people. It does feel like, to me, Nintendo Switch 2, this feels like the first time I've seen a system by Nintendo where it does feel like they have a giant knob that says price tag, and they've just been slowly cranking it up to see how high they can turn it before people just straight up refuse to buy it. Now, let's talk about the price tag. So, right.
What do you mean, Devil? I really wish you would have had a chance. Yeah, the only thing I'm really sad about with my Dreamcast, because, you know, back then you needed to use a step-down converter to plug into the... Well, in the UK, we run a 240 watt. Japan and the US use 110 watt? Or is it the other way? Yeah. And so we needed to use a step-down converter to be able to stop the 240 watt running through and blowing up the thing. And one day I forgot to I thought I plugged it into my UK Dreamcast, the power supply, and I didn't. I plugged it into the orange swirl, and as soon as I put it on, it went boom. I was so gutted. It hurt. It broke my heart. It's okay though. I went and changed the power supply, put a PAL one in there, got it modified to work with it. It's all good now. I revived it. I fixed my mistake. I made it a better machine. Oh, absolutely, Digital Devil. If they do that, I'll buy it. But Dreamcast, Dreamcast had a lot going for it in the opposite way. Sony at the time basically was blackmailing developers, considering the position that they had in the market at the time. They were telling them that if you release games on the Dreamcast, you're not going to release it on the PlayStation. PlayStation had a higher market share, so companies stopped releasing games on the Dreamcast. EA wanted Sega to stop all their sports titles. Sega said no, so EA said we're not releasing no games on the Dreamcast. So there was a lot of things that really, really went against the Dreamcast. And then Sony at the time, to put the final nail in the coffin, went and bought Psygnosis, who had 40% of the video game market share, right? Which no one better than I thought. It was okay back then. So Sony literally bought the industry and became the market leader. And that's why they're so powerful now, because the foundations of what they built on was literally them buying their way through. But there was no regulators at the time to say, no, you can't do this or you can't do this. You're restricted to do this and you're restricted to do that. And so when Xbox tried to do it and all those restrictions and stuff came into play, it really, really did, screw them over left, right, and center. And it wasn't the same outcome.
Right now, as of the recording of this video, I'm posting this here on April 16th. We still have no idea what this thing is actually going to cost. We don't have an official price tag yet. Other regions have been able to pre-order it, like parts of Europe and Asia and stuff, I think have all been able to pre-order it. But here in the United States and also in Canada, you still can't pre-order it. And a lot of it's because the president is doing these very flip-floppy tariffs. This is an article from 2 days ago saying China-made Nintendo Switch 2 is in line for the 145% tariff hit. Now, two pieces of update. One, we do know for a fact that a lot of Nintendo Switch 2s are being made in China. A lot are also being made in Vietnam. As of the recording of this video, literally about 2 hours ago, I think they just raised the tariffs up to like 170%, or sorry, 270%, something insane. But
it literally says it there, 245%, and it's still getting it wrong. But, damn, man. All right, this has become a joke.
I feel like part of the problem is the fact that Nintendo's in a spot where they're trying to bet on the profit. They're trying to price it so that they admitted that the original $450 price tag, which even that was so damn expensive, that was the pre-tariff price.
Bollocks. I'm going to call bollocks to that, right? And chat, this is why I'm going to call bollocks to that, okay? Now, think about this logically, right? Think about this logically. Nintendo knew that these tariffs were coming, right? So preemptively, they increased the price by give or take 15 to 20% because they knew that these tariffs were 100% coming. And the idea behind that was, if by miracle they didn't arrive, well, we've just made even more money because they're not going to reduce it. Now, when they turned around and asked Nintendo, that $450 price point that you've got, buddy, yeah, did that include, was that with the tariffs? In what world or universe or multiverse could you possibly imagine them to say, yes, we preemptively put that price with the tariffs in mind? Outside of the fact that that is borderline fraud or whatever you want to call it, tampering, manipulating, whatever, in what universe do you think that they could come out and say, yeah, we actually preemptively increased it by 20%. We had no intention of decreasing it if Trump didn't have no tariffs, so we gambled upon it, and it would have been an even bigger win if he didn't do that. But we gambled 20%, and obviously, now that it's gone way higher than that, we have to pull it back. Do you honestly believe that they would turn around and say, yes, we preemptively put those things in? We preemptively increase the price. Like, what to put? Can you imagine the complete PR nightmare that Nintendo would get if they openly admitted to this? But right now, they have plausible deniability. And they can say what they want because there's no way for anyone to prove otherwise. But there isn't a single fiber in my soul that believes for a second that that $450 price tag didn't include a percentage tariff increase. Because normally what happens between the US and the UK is that the dollar sign turns into a pound sign. That wasn't the case this time, right? You look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, $699. In the UK, £699. It was the same for the PS5 and the Series X. It was the same for the PS4 and the Xbox One. All that changed was the dollar sign to a pound sign. The Switch was no different. The Nintendo Wii was no different. So why now with the Switch 2 is there a big variation between the price points? It doesn't make sense, does it? The only thing that makes sense is that the tariffs were preemptively placed in, but when the tariffs came 35% higher than what they anticipated, that's when they took the pre-orders offline to come up with a new price point to give back, because it was higher than what they had actually envisioned. It's almost like I don't trust Big Corpo. I ain't trust any of them. They're all out to take your money in any way, shape, or form, be it Sony, Microsoft, or anyone. Their number one aim is to extract as much money from that wallet as possible. I wouldn't trust any corpo. But what Nintendo is doing here, they've got plausible deniability. So there is not a single thing that anyone can say. Yeah, good luck with that, Steve. But no way is this not without the tariffs.
What are they going to do if the tariffs go up to like 300% or start to hit worldwide tariffs? Nintendo is going to try to make it as profitable as possible. They're going to charge you more. There is a good chance that if these tariffs aren't removed, not just these, he keeps pausing it and unpausing it like every 2 days. These companies, though, are going to price it high enough that even if the tariffs do get paused or do come back, they're still going to make a profit. I do think there is a very strong chance the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be $600, maybe even $700. And I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to sell at all. I know some people are saying that I'm being cope to think the Nintendo Switch 2 even has a chance of flopping. I do.
Even at $700, the Switch 2 is going to sell out. Nintendo know that no matter what they price it at, it's going to sell. Period. This is the Nintendo way. It's just going to sell. It is. When you've got people buying consoles like the PS5 for $3,000 from scalpers, right? When the Switch first launched and it was sold out and scalpers were selling it for $1,000 and it was selling and scalpers couldn't buy them fast enough to sell them, people will pay the money to buy it. If people are willing to pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for these consoles, they're willing to spend $700 for it. They just, it's a no-brainer, and they know that it's gonna sell. My favorite Dreamcast game, probably between, I'd say it's 3 games in particular: Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online, and I spent a lot of time in Crazy Taxi.
$100% think that if you have to pay over $550 for this system,
I guess Jet Set Radio
no
will go in there
shot.
as well,
No shot is the
end.
thing. This is going to have such a weak year one, especially because you're like, buy Zelda ports for $100 a pop and Mario Kart for $100. But I think what kind of conveys Nintendo's panic is the quiet lack of communication. And this, to me, this really seems like a red flag. I think they're kind of tipping their hand as to how desperate they are. So I saw this over on Games. I like to go over to Reddit/Games. It's super interesting because these people are super, if anything, they're kind of stale. They're people that very much just post the facts. There's no emotional baggage. It's just, hey, here's a trailer, here's the talks, here's the numbers. And they posted, I was absolutely shocked to see this video pop up my feed, but Digital Foundry posts a Nintendo Switch commercial. Not a thing. There's no voiceover by...
I mean, he is so far wrong. I mean, almost everything he said in this video is just completely off. Like, he's only looking at it in a rage bait way and not from a business perspective. Now, obviously, we are consumers and we shouldn't care about that, but he's clearly looking at it from both angles, but the angle of the Nintendo that he's looking at is completely off. He's not looking at this in a way where he believes, he doesn't believe that consumers will actually spend that money. They will. And he doesn't think that Nintendo would be bad enough to increase the price to that point because of, without, and taking them by their word that tariffs weren't included, which he can't be that stupid. He still thinks companies are good, kind, and there for you.
At the Digital Foundry, it is literally a commercial. They literally posted a pure-on commercial for the Zelda ports. This is it. This is literally just a commercial, a 7-minute commercial being posted on the official page. Now, as you can see, it is being downvote bombed into the dirt. Now, I've done some sponsored content in the past, and I do know that they were very likely paid tens of thousands of dollars. They were probably paid $20,000, $30,000.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say, folks? What did I say? Are you going to turn down 20, 30K for a 5-minute job? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. I ain't doing that. I ain't turning it down. 30K is 30K, man. What did I say? And now watch him turn around and say that he wouldn't have done it if he was in that position, when you full well know that he would have done it if he was in that position. Hey, Panzer Dragoon on Saturn, Panzer Dragoon Saga. You're talking about the originals or the Saga? I remember going down to Tottenham Court Road for Saga. I think I got the last one in West End.
Supposed to something ridiculous, right? So a lot of people though are saying, okay, but this really hurts your brand. In my opinion, the reason I don't do more ad content, you'll probably notice that when I do sponsorships, I typically like to do food and drink. You know, here's Factor, you know, stuff like that. I want to make stuff that's easy to convey. Okay, here's a paid opinion. Here's a honest, genuine opinion, right? Here's a game review. There's nothing on that, right? I think stuff like this kind of tarnishes your reputation. Now, I'm not hating on it. A lot of the Digital Foundry guys, I've talked to them. They're very nice. I still think they're some of the best. I'm curious, though, because whoever is in charge of the channel, greenlighting this is definitely going to cost them subscribers, and it's definitely costing them a lot of goodwill. All of the...
Here's the thing, right, chat? Here's the thing. By next week, no one cares. Literally, next week, no one cares. In fact, probably in a few days, no one cares. And then the next Digital Foundry video that comes out, and those 5 people that unsubscribe, they're going to be like, oh, why didn't I subscribe to Digital Foundry? YouTube must have unsubscribed me. And then they're going to click on that subscribe button. Why? Because no one cares. This is all just situational rage for the sake of reeing. He said that basically that this is going to cost them brand loyalty. Steve, he said that this is going to cost them subscribers. And I'm saying no one actually cares. By next week, no one will even remember this. It's going to be a figment of everyone's imagination, and people will have moved on, and that will be that. And I don't even think it will take a week. It's just right now, oh my god, they did something that I'm totally against because it made them money, and I can't make that money myself, and they're not giving me that money, so I'm gonna That's basically what's happening.
The comments are like, this is the first time I am really disappointed with Digital Foundry. This should have been marked as an ad, not as sponsored content.
If they sponsored it, then it was a sponsored video. I don't see the difference between putting something as sponsored content or an ad. They're both being paid content. Both of them are paid content, right? So they're basically nitpicking here now. Can you see how granular they're trying to get it to try and prove themselves as the superior person here with higher morals? Oh, they use this word instead of that word, when both of them mean that their opinion is paid for. Like, I remember, full disclosure, I got offered to do a video of a game that they were going to sponsor me for. And I made the video, and they wanted to see it before I actually published it. And so I let them see it, and they asked me to make these changes. And I said, I don't feel like that would be right because I don't agree with what you're saying, and these are my opinions. And so they said, well, no, we don't want the video going live like this. We want it with these changes and amendments in place. And so I told them, in the contract it says, all views are my own. And that, you know, I'm giving my opinion. And so for about 2 days, we argued back and forth. And in the end, they paid me a quarter of the... I think it's a quarter or half the fee. And I just said, you know what? At this point, I can't be bothered to argue with them. I just took the money and said, fine, I'll just delete the video. But they wanted me to say something that I didn't believe in the game. And they wanted me to mention stuff that wasn't working correctly and wasn't as revolutionary as they wanted. And I just wasn't prepared to do that. So I turned that deal down. I mean, it wasn't the 15-20 grand that they're offering. It was like it was like £100. But in the end, these companies do tell you what to say. They do ask you at times on thing. Even some game reviews that I used to get, they clearly tell you what you cannot talk about, what you cannot mention, what you can't put focus on, what parts you can't even touch or show. And, you know, so this sort of thing exists. So for him to turn around and say that, it's just a whole pile of bollocks.
This was not even made by Digital Foundry. Seriously, guys, this is straight up an ad. Literally, every single hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments saying, you've been acquired by IGN. I keep clicking through the video to try to hear the voice of John, Alex, Rich, Oliver, any of the people that actually work on it, but it's just that crappy Nintendo narrator. It is interesting to me that I think, to me, this does signal very clearly that Nintendo knows stuff is about to be bad, that when they actually reveal the price tag of the Switch 2, it's going to be met with a tremendous amount of backlash. And I think they're almost trying to build up a groundswell of positivity. Even if it's got to be paid, they're at a point where they will just literally smile and wave, just stop the bad presses even for a second. I'm in a spot where the Nintendo Switch 2, I am still curious to try it, but at this point, the word hyped is definitely not the case. I can say,
mate, the Switch 2 is sold out everywhere except the US, where it's not available for pre-order. What do you mean people aren't hyped for it? People are very much looking forward to it that want the Switch 2. They are getting to play the games that they want to play at a higher frame rate. They're getting to play Metroid Prime 4 at a higher frame rate in its best form. The fact that you're not excited for it doesn't mean that the rest of the people that are buying it aren't. But the reality is, it could have been a bit better. Yeah, I agree. Am I hyped for the Switch 2? No, but I'm still getting one. My kids want one. And plus, I like to have every console.
with full, genuine, full-throated conviction, I am not excited for the Switch 2 at all. I don't think I've ever been so underwhelmed by a Nintendo system ever. But we'll see how it's actually received at launch. How do you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch 2, and how do you feel about this Digital Foundry drama? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down.
So yeah, that's the video. I think it's interesting. I think it's very one-sided, very narrow-minded, and he's clearly just playing to the trends in the algorithm. Right now it pays to hate Nintendo. Right now it pays to speak badly of Nintendo, so that's exactly what he's doing. But the fact that he thinks that the price point wasn't impacted by the tariffs is lunacy. So who thinks on April the 23rd we're going to see an Xbox partner preview? This is next week. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, it's just all fake news and silliness, and I'm it's so stupid. So, XDS hinted at the possibility of an Xbox partner preview next week, April 23rd. Everything seems to be dropping next week, April 23rd. The Division, trailers, others. There was actually one more thing that I wanted to check out today, but I don't think I'm going to have time because... Actually, I might do. Let me have a look. If it's not too long, and then I'll finish it with that one. Okay. Apparently, it's only 2 minutes long. So we can check this out. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed the stream today. There shouldn't have been any ads because I have demonetized it. So thank you for all the super chats and memberships. It really helps, you know, keep this going. So I do appreciate it. And hopefully this made it a better experience for you as well overall, without the ads blocking and interfering with the show. So thanks so much for the support and the super chats and the memberships. I appreciate it. There was no ads. There shouldn't have been no ads. I'm looking at it right now. This whole thing is demonetized. Monetization is off. There should be nothing. Diablo, not that. The April 23rd is supposed to be a partner preview. So companies like I'm on premium as well, Mifulian, but a lot of people are not, and so the ads were getting in the way, and I didn't want that to happen anymore. So I've demonetized the streams, the gameplay streams, everything. So any support you do show goes towards the upkeep of the streams, and it supports the channel and helps me to continue doing what I'm doing. Alright, let's check this out, because I've been looking forward to seeing gameplay for this. I haven't seen it yet. I advertise Dreamcast Guy channel? No, I'm just reacting to it.
Focus your attention. 1 TC. Giant. Sleeping.
There's a mythical PlayStation showcase at the end of the Rainbow Digital. You might find it there if you go looking. Apparently there might be a unicorn there too. Hey Steve, thank you so much for that £10 super sticker. I appreciate it, dude. Or super chat. Thank you so much. This looks really good.
Stay focused. Stay cautious.
That is our calling.
It is. Did you put a message? Why is it you're the only one that can't do it? What did you post? That's okay. Look at that silver 60 FPS. I appreciate it.
You almost fried there. Good thing I was around. Traveler.
Coming to Steam, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the Epic Store. Coming 2025. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know if you guys are, but this looks really damn good. And this game will be played not on easy, not on hard, not on very hard, but on the hardest difficulty just for you guys on normal. That makes the most sense, right? That is clearly the hardest difficulty, and that is where I'll be playing this game. But I'm really looking forward to this. That's the problem, Steve. Real gamers play hard mode. Superior gamers play normal mode. And look, journo mode would be playing it on easy. I'm not playing it on easy. I'm playing it on normal. I'm playing it harder than journalists could ever play it. See? I'm just in a different league to all of you. And that's just how this works. You should do that, Woodpit. Let me know how it goes. There should only be one mode. I know, right? Story mode. Best mode ever. Look, my favorite clip is of that journalist trying to play Cuphead and couldn't get past the tutorial. That is by far my favorite aspect. That was brilliant. You think Skull and Bones is worth £20? It's on sale and I'm debating. With all the updates that's coming, if you're looking for a pirate game, I think so, yeah. I think it's a solid investment. Now, the question is, will it drop to a cheaper price later down the line? And that's a gamble. It could do, or when the updates drop, it could actually increase and not be at that price point again. So I think it's at £20. It's a fair value, especially with all the updates coming. You call it hit your. What do you mean hit my kid mode? I don't do none of that. What are you even saying? See, that's what I'm concerned about, Diablo, for it dropping to a crazy price like that. So it's a gamble. I think, it can drop to a low price, and generally the older the game gets, the cheaper it should be. So I'd say hunt around. You've got an Xbox, so check out on other websites that sell keys and see what they have, because they should have it for a better price. Let me see. Well, it looks like the CD Keys has it for way expensive. So £20 seems to be a good price compared to what they're offering. And what game has that happened to me? Look, I died in one tutorial once, and you guys won't let me live it down. Once. It happened once. Yeah, but with the nature of the way the game is, it pays to just buy it outright rather than just being on UB Plus for all eternity. No, what they need to do is enable a cinematic mode, right? Where you press start and the game just plays for you. And I just sit down and watch an interactive movie. That's what they need to do. Mate, I think Street Fighter was the only game that sent me over the edge. I remember playing Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive, and that, or Genesis as you guys know in the US. That guy was literally the king of cheese. Him and what was the boss in King of Fighters? Same one from Fatal Fury. Dude could instantly kill you in 3 seconds. Hey, you just don't know what's going on. Give Sony another few years. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. They are. Sony is heading in that direction. By the way, how did Croc do? Geese Howard was one of them, but it wasn't Geese Howard. It was the one that dresses in a reddish black suit. Geese Howard is the one with the kind of dojo outfit. No. Not all games should be that. But I can't remember his name. He kind of had flames coming out of his eyes as well. But I genuinely don't remember the name of the boss. But either way, those characters could instantly one-shot you in a blink of an eye. Those were the ones that really pissed me off. Yeah, I'm not seeing any numbers at all for Croc, and it'd be very interesting to see how that game did. Like, there was literally no fanfare for it at all. Which is, you know, somewhat disappointing. Yeah, I saw nothing. So tomorrow we're doing our member stream, but we're going to be playing Fall Guys. So if you are a member and want to join in, please install Fall Guys on whatever platform you got. It is crossplay, so it doesn't matter where you install it. So we will be playing that tomorrow. And then if I have time on the weekend, I would like to finish South of Midnight. So that's going to be here as well on this stream, on this channel. So that'd be good if I can get that done, because on Tuesday I want to check out a game called The Blueprint. Has anyone heard of it? I'm sure you have. Just Fall Guys? No, get Dead by Daylight ready as well. I can't really think of anything else that I want to jump into at this point. That's the thing. I mean, Among Us would be cool if we have the numbers. Again, these are free to... A lot of these are free to play or super duper cheap to get into. So, but we will be starting off with Fall Guys and see where the evening goes from there. Mythulian, it is a really good game. The choreographed battle areas can get a little samey, I guess, repetitive, but the combat is good. It feels nice, at least for me. The skill tree is decent. You know, it's not overly done, and it's, you know, you see the improvements instantly when you upgrade, which is really nice. The story is phenomenal. The music is amazing, carries it really well. Graphically, I can't fault it. It's just a really, really well put together game. It's one of those games that didn't really need the combat, but they kind of put the combat in anyway because they felt they had to. But I don't really think it actually needed the combat overall, if that makes sense. It's almost like it was they had to find a way to put the combat on, and that was the best they could come up with. I don't like skill trees, but the ones that is in South of Midnight, I'm okay with. They're really simple, they're really linear, they're really basic, right? There's not really much thought process to go into it because it's just literally a line going from top to bottom that you unlock, and that's it. It's all guided. Theoretically, they could have said after every chapter you unlock a skill, and that improves as you go along, right? They could have even done that if they really wanted to. That's how linear it is. I'm playing Blueprints. You're not going to be able to play it 1000%. But isn't that why I'm going to have chat there? You guys are going to... We're all going to kind of join in and try and get through it, right? I'm just finding all those goddamn floofs. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I'm really, really enjoying it, and you know, even though I haven't finished it yet, I think I've got like 2 chapters to go. I'm left wanting more. I want to play it, but I'm saving it for the stream because I pretty much started it on stream. I'm going to finish it on stream, and it's only a 10-hour game, 12-hour game. So I'm kind of saving finishing it on stream. But the fact that it's got me wanting to go back and play more speaks volumes to the goodness of the game, in my opinion. What do you mean, hell no? You guys are not going to sit there and watch me struggle for 2 hours. This isn't how this works. Everyone complained about Final Fantasy 13 being linear. Yeah, I really enjoyed it on the 360. Mephulian, Final Fantasy 13 is one of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time. It doesn't beat 10. 10 is my favorite, but 13 probably comes after that. In the offline ones. If we're talking about online, 11 is superior to 14 in just the story and overall development, but it would go 11 and 14. But in terms of the games, 10 and then 13 would be my faves. You did not play Indiana Jones for me. That game is phenomenal, by the way. I 100%ed it. And apparently, if you get the PS5 version, you can get an easy platinum by connecting your Microsoft account, and it auto unlocks all the platinum, all the trophies for you instantly. Look, I wasn't the one that talked about it. You can blame Mephulian. You can blame Mephulian. If they do not prompt me, Steve, I do not mention it. That was the deal we had. You light certain torches, and eventually it unlocks it. There you go. "12 was funny because the reason why I like 12 is different to what everyone else. I just like it for the bad guy. There was nothing special about him until the final 10 seconds of the game. It was just some dude that wanted to ruin everything for everyone else. If I told you that, then things would get messy. Look, there's people in chat like Woodpit who hasn't done it yet, and I don't want to ruin that experience for him. I would tell you the order, but look, Woodpit over here clearly doesn't want to be told any spoilers. So in respect to Woodpit, I'm not going to say the order. Buy it again to play it professionally? Buy what again? Indiana Jones? I should buy it physical, right? So I'll get that sweet, sweet 20 gigabytes on disc. I should buy it physical so you can get that sweet, sweet 20 gig. Oh, sorry. I know I shouldn't make fun, but it's too easy, man. But if it's shown at the showcase that might land on the 23rd or the June showcase, everyone gonna turn full emo. You get a colorful ghost. Oh. Do you know one thing I don't get that they don't do? People like the box arts, right? And why don't they actually offer it? Why doesn't Microsoft, Nintendo, well, not Nintendo, screw Nintendo, and PlayStation offer a service where they will sell you the box art for like $5? Because most people don't even care about the fact that the game is digital or isn't on the disc. They just want the box to be able to put onto their bookcase so they can show it. They're going to buy the game digitally anyway. So I'm really surprised that none of them have actually done that to see if it would actually be a good business venture. If people would actually go and buy the official box cases for the games. I mean, they're technically doing that anyway when they're buying a game anyway when the game isn't on disc, right? So why not just offer the box on its own? I mean, it's going to be Sony selling it, right? Sony and Microsoft selling it directly. You'd be surprised at how many people would actually buy it. I reckon that there is a business venture there that would actually sell. You're saying that now, Steve, but there is a market out there for it. I genuinely believe that there is. Oh, not for me. But I'm saying that there are people out there that will definitely buy it. What are you talking about, Devin? You know what? I'm still not gonna go into it. I'm gonna bite my lip today. Next time. £40 each inflation. Oh, God damn it, man. No, what we need is one of these. That's what you need to get me, Steve. That right there. Get yourself one and then me one too, and then we're all sorted. But folks, that's going to be the end of the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate all the support, the super chats, the memberships. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And I'll hopefully see a bunch of you tomorrow at the member stream. Now, the member stream will be open for all to actually view and watch, but only those that are members will be able to take part. So any membership tier will allow you to take part if you want to take part. So hopefully I'll see you there tomorrow. We'll be playing Fall Guys, so make sure you've got Fall Guys, Dead by Daylight ready, and I guess maybe Among Us as well. But Among Us is strictly dependent on the numbers we actually have. Alright, thank you so much for the hangout. I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you in the next one, folks. As always, remain legend, and have a good night. Play more fighting games? Oh, man, I haven't played fighting games in donkeys. What fighting games would you like? Look at Devin running off to play Concord. Oh, and on that note, happy Easter to everyone. I totally forgot tomorrow's Easter Friday. Happy Easter if you celebrate it. Dead or Alive, Mortal Kombat 1. We'll look into it.